Hello everyone. Before the episode begins, I just have a quick announcement to make. Last week, episode 1 aired, and in this episode, for the first time in D&Dorks history, we used location art. We got to see the Opulo Coliseum. It was super cool. But upon the episode airing, some of you on the Patreon Discord raised concerns that it looked like it might be AI art. Turns out, you were fucking right, and I got scammed. I paid a lot of real money to someone who advertised themselves as a digital illustrator who turned out to just be someone clicking generate. This obviously fucking sucks, and although we can't remove the image from the previous episode, we will not be using any more of their artwork in any future episodes. And just to be clear, this was only the location art. The character art is 100% real. It is drawn by Local Vegetable. They are a fantastic artist. I worked with them multiple times, and all the artwork you see in this episode is done by them, and it's fantastic. That being said, that's all I had for you. Fuck AI art, fuck scammers, and long live Cazilor. Enjoy the episode. Hello everyone and welcome back to Tales from Cazilor, the Golden Era. This is episode 2. First off, I'm joined once again by the main cast of the D&Dorks. Say hello everyone.
Hello.
Howdy.
Hello.
I muted myself. Hello.
All of these people, you can see their ads on the screen, make fantastic content on the internet at semi-regular times. So go and give them a follow if you haven't. Also consider following the D&Dorks TikTok and Instagram if you haven't. Last episode, we spent our time at the Tryouts, a yearly event where wannabe knights come far and wide for a chance to join the Masmus. Captain Baina, although he has revolutionized the anchoring arrow and is still grieving the death of his friend Asher Platt, was nonetheless ordered by military decree to train a squad and become a real captain or face a dishonorable discharge. The twins, Argy and Ari Scritori, who hail from a family which owns one of the largest press companies in Cazilor, the Daily Scrits, also visited the Tryouts, and with a little help from Grandpa, they were able to show off their powerful gifts for all to see in hopes of getting selected. We also met winsome Winnie Rosenthorn, who did not want to attend the Tryouts, but out of fear of being outcast by society and deemed a crank, she simply had to. It isn't all bad, though. She met this really chill guy named Alexi Delac after he accidentally got booked in the same room as her because Lexi has a girl's name. Speaking of cranks, Jeremiah Stokes was also at the Tryouts, but for different reasons. He and his partner were searching for these potential cranks with promises of a sanctuary behind enemy lines, where a new society is brewing, where blessed people who don't want to die in a war can live in peace. At the Tryouts, we met the famous Cazilorian spy, Forget-Me-Not, spelled N-A-U-T, like astronaut, a person with a gift to make people forget. And nobody knows what they really look like. They don't know their gender, they don't know their face, they only remember what Forget-Me-Not allows them to, which is their completely androgynous voice. This spy had a secret meeting with Captain Baina. In this meeting, they told Baina that something big is brewing over in Atraria. And before they head out for their years-long expedition to find out what, they gave Baina a crystal that will signal to him if they are ever in grave danger, because they know that if Captain Baina sees that crystal light up, he will do something about it. The Tryouts went great, and afterwards our sneaky comrade Jeremiah and his carriage of cranks was caught out at night by a giant. Jeremiah struck this giant down, unaware that it was actually a Masmus knight, and their operation had been completely busted. And Jeremiah was hastily arrested. A month later, all of our contestants got letters of approval that they were accepted into the Masmus, and their 2-year training would shortly begin. And from there, I think we can dive straight into the Masmus Training Academy. The Masmus Training Academy is in the center of Cazilor, okay? It's in the mountains called Calum Heights. as the camera flies in through the sky, we see the Masmus Training Academy. It's like a weird mix between a boot camp, like a medieval base camp. So there's like tents and there's horses running around and there's people practicing sword fighting, but it's also kind of got college vibes. Like there's very obviously dormitories and lecture halls. We see humans running around training and practicing. We see giants running around training and practicing with these humans. Everything is hustling and bustling. It's the equivalent of like August here in Cazilor. The Masmus Training Academy year is beginning and all the new recruits are piling in. We fly down into Winnie in the middle of sort of like a path in a courtyard. You've already had your sort of orientation where you were basically given a rundown on what the Masmus is, which you kind of already knew, and what to expect. You were given this little sheet of paper that told you what dormitory you will be living in for the next 2 years as you get trained. And you're heading your way there. What's Winnie feeling as they walk through alone? The courtyard is bustling with all these people walking to the various dormitories, but you are walking alone right now. How do you feel?
Winnie is feeling a mix of emotions. It's being upset because it's peacetime. It's supposed to be harder to get in. She didn't even do that well, but somehow they still picked her. She's not supposed to be chosen. Why would she be chosen? Her life is over. This is the end, the beginning of the end for her. So she's not happy by any means to be here. Because again, in peacetime, it's supposed to be really hard to be inducted into essentially like, what, the Secret Service of giant kids.
Right. The elite task force. Like, it's supposed to be hard.
They didn't even kill both of the giants and somehow they're here? How? Why would this happen?
And as Winnie kind of sits with that dread, I do wonder how she feels when from across the courtyard you hear a familiar voice and you see approaching you in his newly obtained Masmus outfit, Alexei Delac. And he goes, Winnie! Winnie, is that you?
You're here. Gets real sad. Like happy and then real sad immediately.
Yeah, we both got in. How exciting.
I mean, it's great to see you again.
It's good to see you too.
Happy.
He kind of goes for like a little, he's like, are you open to a hug? Okay, yeah, cool. It's good to see you.
Yeah.
I'm sure you feel great about all of this.
I am feeling, just so many feelings, Lexi. It's so many feelings to be here. You know how that's a common saying everywhere. I have feelings to be here.
Yeah, no, I definitely get it. I mean, I'm mainly excited. What dorm are you in? Do you know? Do you know what captain you were placed under?
I'm in open scroll.
It says like
dorm. Do we use scrolls here?
Yeah, of course. You are in dormitory 6. Your captain is going to be Captain Baina.
Does Winnie recognize that name?
Well, a history check. If you don't give a shit about war history, then probably not.
Well, let's see. I realize
science history, maybe. I don't know.
I don't think I give too much of a hoot about this, but in the off chance, celebrities don't care about. Do I know the celebrity I don't care about? I do know the celebrity I don't care about. That is an 18.
Cool, yeah. They probably taught you in school, in high school, basic history about the war and stuff. You have to take a history class, I'm sure. You're young enough to have learned about Baina in history class, is my point here.
This is actually the first time that I'm really processing that my character is famous enough to be taught about in history classes. And I just want to canonize right now, Baina also doesn't know that that's a thing that's happening.
And so you remember some random moment about innovations in the warfare And Bano was the guy who revolutionized the anchoring arrow. He changed them from like a more mechanical thing with ropes and tethers to like using crystals and enchantments. And he's credited with a lot of second-handedly saving a lot of lives with his invention.
I guess I didn't do too good. I got put on Beta's team, so I guess I'm going to be in, like, what, engineering?
Oh, Captain Beta? Fucking
Yeah.
me too!
Oh, thank God. I
Me
mean,
too.
yes. We're going to be indoor job people. This is great.
We'll be in the... Oh, God. Bless the mother, for real. Like, the fact that we got placed together. What are the odds? The Wild's really looking after us. Man, that's so sick. I wonder if we're going to run into anybody
And
else we met at the
what dorm are you
tryouts. Huh?
What dorm are you in again?
Oh, 6. It's like Bane's dorm, I assume. Every captain has their own dorm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was about to say, like, you have to tell people you're not a girl. You have to explain that to them.
I'll try to make it known as best I can. I made sure to leave a complaint when I left the tryouts last time, just to not have any
Don't
unfortunate...
think they took that into account. I don't think they listened to you at all. You gotta be more firm about it.
Yeah, you're right. It's like, I kind of let people walk over me. It's because it's like no big deal. But I need to be like, hey, I'm a man. And then they just...
Oh, maybe take that again. Take that again.
Okay.
One more time with feeling.
I'm a man.
Voice cracked. One more.
Sorry, it's really dry out. I'm a man. Fuck.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
Okay.
It's fine.
We'll workshop it. And you guys walk all the way to dormitory 6. And as you enter in, so the dorms are like... to use a pop culture reference, if you've seen My Hero, how their dorms are just like one building, and then they have like a woman's side and a male side. It kind of looks like that, except made out of more natural wood, like a giant log cabin, essentially. So it's just one building. It has a big 6 on the top to let you know it's dormitory 6. And when you walk into like this big sort of lobby area. You know how like dorm floors will have like a community space? It's got like picnic tables and chairs and stuff to just hang out in. And it is full of people. There's probably like a few dozen people in here, all in dormitory 6, just chatting it up. And you spot some familiar faces. RG and perhaps Ari are standing in the lobby. What do you do?
We got here earlier than the rest of our squad mates, right?
For sure.
Okay. So I think just a few more minutes before Lexi and Winnie would have walked in, they were like, there was a conversation that was basically, we're doing like a dynamic duo thing. Should we like pose? No, we shouldn't pose, RG. But like, what if we did a pose? Like while we were... So if we could be like
RG,
pretty
no.
basic, like posed up back to back, arms folded.
RG, I can't believe we're doing like we can't. Well, what are we gonna hold this forever?
No, we're not gonna hold it forever. Just till they Oh, hey!
Oh, and Lexi goes, oh, no way! What's up?
It's this is insane. You guys are also Squad 6. That's insane.
Yeah, Captain Bana.
Upon further inspection, it kind of seems like they group you with whoever you were in the tryouts with.
And at this point, Ari speaks up, and she goes, well, it kind of makes sense. You see, they saw us work together so well in the actual tryouts. It's a decent gamble to just lump us all together when you actually want to pick somebody up.
And
Fair assessment.
it went so well too. I gotta thank you guys so much. Lexi, you got the human, and Winnie, you held down the giants, and I killed one of the giants, and Grandpa was pretty happy about that. So like,
yeah, dude, I was so fucking sick. We were one of like only like a handful of people to even take down one. I guess competition was pretty light this year.
yeah,
You don't say.
Ari kind of
I
goes,
guess-
you look rather chipper.
Well, it's the morning time. It's the summer. The sun is out a lot.
This is true. Cool. And at this point, someone else kind of steps up. He's actually kind of a bigger guy. Like, obviously, of course, you have to meet certain athletic requirements, but this dude is like 6'5", 300 pounds. He is like a giant in his own right. He steps up with hands like as big as your face and kind of approaches you guys and just goes, "Oh, you guys are the Scritories, right?"
Yeah. RG and Ari.
And all four of you, I watched your guys' run at the tryouts. That was super cool. My name is Benjamin Tornala.
Awesome.
Pleasure to meet you guys.
You are a giant man.
Yeah, you know, my dad is 6'7", my mom is 6'3", and so it is what it is. Plan to be a stalwart. I don't know if they got a horse big enough for me though.
Don't.
But you know, we'll make it. We'll make it work. Maybe
Clydesdale, but Clydesdale are not war horses. Are you sure you're not half giant? Is that a thing?
I don't think that's a thing, but it's not the first time I've heard that. And another person walks up to you, seeing that you guys are kind of all talking, comes up and goes, "Sorry about my friend. He's an idiot. Sorry if he was bothering you. Benji, did you just let yourself in on their conversation?" He was like, "Well, yeah, I knew them." She goes, "You don't know them. You just saw them and recognized them." He's like, "Oh, what's wrong? We're all in the same squad." And she goes, "All right. Hello, my name is Abby Lyons. I also saw you guys. It was excellent work. I hope to be an anchor." It was really cool. I actually got to meet Captain Baina in the tryouts when I was practicing. And so I wonder, it makes you think if that conversation, I know some of us are hand-picked and some of us are randomly assigned. It makes you think on which ones he chose, you know, what he saw in us.
I don't care.
I mean, I get that too. I get that too. And Benjamin kind of goes, "Yeah, I'm just kind of here for a good time, you know?"
I mean, like, at the end of the day, we're all here. So does it matter who is chosen versus who ended up here? We're all in the same room.
I guess not.
You know, not to like, I would argue for like the importance of approval from a leader, especially coming in. I think it does say something about what he thinks about your abilities, and I really do wonder if he, you know, maybe he picked us or maybe he didn't. But you know, you're right. It's not really a big deal. But you know, I'm wondering about it. Is any?
No, I didn't say it wasn't a big deal. I said it didn't matter.
I don't know, Winnie. I think it's kind of cool to think if you were hand chosen, but you know, I also get it. Like, big guy, I'm sure you're gonna have a good time. What are you here to get your like mandatory 3-year service in and then get paid for the rest of your life? And big dude goes, "Ha ha, yeah, buddy, that universal basic income from the Masmus will be hitting for the rest of my life." And Lexi goes, "Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff." And we kind of fade away from this conversation a little bit. And we go outside, back out into the courtyard, and we see Baina, who is walking down the courtyard in his captain's uniform. He is walking with Highblade Vera, who is forever and always supervising over Baina's actions to ensure that he is fulfilling out his military decree. And
he's got like a world's best boss mode.
And Vera is actually trying her best to encourage you as best she can. She kind of goes, "Now listen, Baina, don't let this be like last time where you just cut everyone. You'll have to deal with what you've got."
Is that your idea of encouragement, Vera?
Yes.
Please tell me there's more.
No, that is about it. I should also remind you that you are receiving a PSK today, a Punitive Service Knight. They will be a part of your squad.
Well aware. Vera, this is very bad encouragement.
And you are also aware that you will have to kill him if he steps out of line, yes?
Once again, I am aware, and at this point, I'm just going to assume that the encouragement will come later, potentially.
The encouragement comes now, because you shouldn't let any of this get to you. You are an established captain. You have skills and, dare I say, even some talent that you could bestow upon these young minds. And they will be looking up to you. You can't do this shriveled, shy act that you do with me. I get it, I'm your superior. You have to be a leader to them. And I
Drivel?
think... Okay. Maybe that was a bit mean.
It was. Continue.
Okay. Apologies, but you have to be a leader, and I think you can do it.
I actually agree with you, so encouragement requirement fulfilled, Vera. Thank you.
You're welcome. And here we are. I'll let you take the lead. And you guys step inside, and as soon as you do, seeing a captain and a Highblade step into the room, all chatter zips. Immediately, people scramble up out of their chairs and stand at attention to show respect to their superior officers.
All right, Bana walks in with Vera. Kind of takes a second as everybody's snapping to attention to sort of scan over, kind of, recognition in my eyes as I go and, look at everybody who I picked. Some were randomly assigned, but I picked most people. And after everybody's ready, he steps forward and just very casually, as you'd kind of expect from him, begins to speak. Hello, recruits. My name is Captain Adrian Bana. This is Amphis, my assistant. He gestures to the snake on his shoulder. Amphis's head kind of pops up, scans the room, kind of tilts to the side, indicating curiosity. And then Bana continues. I have been in the Masmis for about 18 years now, though my primary role is one of an artificer. Some of you may be familiar with my works, mainly the anchoring arrows that many of you will be training with. But rest assured, I have seen plenty of combat in my time as well, and I know the seriousness that those situations can bring. Now, I have selected most of you personally. There are some random assignments, but I have on good authority that all of you have done well in the tryouts. And from what I have seen in the tryouts, I know there is a lot of potential in many of you, and personally, I look forward to bringing that potential to the surface to the best of my ability. And with that simple introduction done, he kind of steps back and lets Vera continue with her thing.
Highblade Vera steps forward, very stoic, arms behind her back, and she goes, My name is Highblade Vera Mendoza. I am simply operating under a supervisory role to this squad. If you are having any issues or complaints, do not come to me. You are to come to your captain. That said, I am still your superior officer. If I give you an order, it supersedes anything Captain Boehner will say. Military law still applies. That said, I should not have a need to do that because your captain is very capable on his own. One more thing. This squad was randomly selected to receive a PSK. That is a Punitive Service Knight. If you are unfamiliar with the term Punitive Service Knight, that means that a criminal has been sentenced to serve in the Masmis to atone for their crimes. Bring them in, and 2 military police bring in this freaky-looking guy who's wearing Masmis gear, but it looks like they pulled it off a corpse. Like, it looks super fucked up. And the guy's got shackles. He's even got a fucking muzzle. And they pull him in, and they unshackle his muzzle, and they unshackle his hands, and they throw him to the ground. Panda, what's going through your mind right now?
Jeremiah is not thrilled about this, but he also knows that there is absolutely no way he could get out of this. So he's kind of taken the quiet quit approach of, I'm stuck, and there's not a ton that I can do here. It should also be mentioned that I stated multiple times in the first one that he had very long hair that has been completely shaved.
Yes.
So he is not looking his best. He's not feeling his best. I'm assuming I've gotten the shit kicked out of me a couple of times.
Yeah, you're definitely a little bit more bruised and beaten than your art suggests.
Yeah. So I'm nursing my bruises and my fucking busted lip and black eye and everything. But he is staying completely silent, and he's not looking at anybody. He's just going to stand up and just kind of keep his eyes on the floor.
Vera continues to speak, and she goes, Now, make no mistake, this man is a criminal. Not only did he kill a giant Masmis knight, but he was charged with treason, conspiracy to commit terrorism, and much more. You might have read about him in the paper. He is the one who they call Giant's Bane. And all of you are familiar with that. Especially you, RG and Ari. The Daily Scrits kind of coined this term. Basically, what happened in the month since Jeremiah's arrest is that the Masmis released a statement that they have captured the individual who's responsible for recruits going missing at the tryouts. Like they publicly stated, like he killed a Masmis Knight, a giant from Estersal, but he's been detained. And they go through all their charges extensively, treason, conspiracy to commit terrorism, murder, human smuggling, all of this stuff. And it's been a pretty hot topic. This guy's kind of been villain of the month in Cazilor. And Vera continues, he is not permitted to leave the academy until he graduates. And if he steps too far out of line, Captain Baina or I will strike him dead. And if you notice any suspicious activity from Sir Jeremiah Stokes, you are to report it to us immediately. Are there any questions?
I'm sorry, this couldn't have been allowed, could it? I mean, you're letting him into the Masmis. The individual responsible for so many recruits going missing, for so much loss within this organization, and you're putting him on us?
That is correct.
I wouldn't say letting in is the term that we would use, but...
Is it your turn to speak, Knight Stokes?
Is it?
No. I understand your frustration. But the way that the Warlord Assembly has ruled this is that he needs to make up for all of the lost military service that we would have had without his actions. So he will be serving in the Masmis either until he dies or until his sentence is through, which is
so many years that I would be dead.
Correct. Lexi actually speaks up. And anybody who wants to can make an insight check on Lexi.
As the captain, I definitely will be doing that.
Baina, you make an insight check on your whole squad. Seeing this.
Okay.
Got a
No, my
17
stats
for
yet.
insight.
17.
Yeah, 16 for an insight.
16.
Also 16.
Wow. You all get the same information. Baina, I'll give yous on the whole squad. The air in the room is uncomfortable.
Figured.
The air in the room is uncomfortable. Like, we have to work with a criminal, not just any. It'd be one thing if this guy, like, I don't know, killed, like, somebody for killing somebody that they loved or something. But no, this dude is like a terrorist. And so it really brings down squad morale to be told that you have to go and fight to the death against giants with a criminal. Like, it's kind of setting in Baina's mind right now that I'm sure Baina's very aware of how important trust is in a squad, that this is going to be a major hill that you're going to have to climb with this group and with Jeremiah in particular. For the rest of you that are focusing on Lexi as he's about to speak, Lexi has never shown any emotion other than, like, happy to be here, man. But he looks kind of shell-shocked almost, and his brows furrow. And he goes, "Excuse me, Highblade Vera." "Yes." "May I speak plainly, ma'am?" "You may." "I don't understand how you expect us to operate under a squad with a traitor amongst our midst. It doesn't make any sense. And I don't know if I can do it." And Vera goes, "I believe you are wrong, Knight Deloc. I believe you can do it. I believe you know you can do it. But I think you know that it will be hard." And Lexi just kind of doesn't respond, just kind of looks a little freaked out about this whole thing.
If we do have an objection, is there somebody we could appeal to?
No. The decision from the Warlord Assembly is unfortunately final. Listen, I understand. I would hate to have this happen to my squad. But successful squads are made with punitive service knights all the time. And I don't doubt that this will be any different. Baina, I believe you have expectations to lay out for the rest of this training.
Permission to speak freely, ma'am?
Permission to speak with caution.
All right. I can guarantee any of you who are worried about me being here that any objection that you feel like putting into any sort of official, I've already tried. I don't want to be here any more than you want me to be here. But I'm not gonna have you die on my watch. I'll do my utmost to avoid those who would like me to do so.
When he's done, rather than kind of letting that sit, Baina's very quickly going to step up to thank you, Knight Stokes, and just kind of gesture for him to go to the side as Baina steps back up. I don't know if you want to make people make a perception check for this because it's not really subtle, but just for note, the second Jeremiah walked in, Amphas's head just immediately locked onto him, and whatever motion Baina makes, you know how like if you take a chicken and you move it around, the head will stay in the exact. It's like that. Like Amphas's head is directly staring at Jeremiah. Like even as Baina steps forward, the head just swivels on a fixed point. But that aside, I doesn't need Amphas for this next bit of the conversation, and so he begins to speak. He goes, yes, expectations. I do have a training regimen already in mind for you all, but unfortunately for this speech, much of it does depend on you not knowing the plans right away. I will say this, though. Many of you probably expect your captain to be something of a drill sergeant, yelling in your ears the moment something goes wrong. You will not get this treatment from me. Many captains do place value in intimidating their squads, ensuring unquestioning obedience at a moment's notice. And while this might have some validity, I disagree with this philosophy. In my squad, you will be taught to think for yourselves, to analyze situations quickly, and to respond fast enough to survive. I acknowledge that you all have unique skills, and I do not seek to hammer you all into identical molds of a soldier. Now, do not make the mistake of thinking that this will be an easier path. In many ways, and for many of you, it will be in fact harder. I guarantee that not all of you will enjoy the way that I train you, and I also guarantee that not all of you will make it through the academy into my final squad. But I do guarantee you this as well. I will give you all a fair chance, and the ones who do see this through to the end will deserve their place. Take the rest of the day to familiarize yourself with your squad mates and your new surroundings. Training begins tomorrow. And then in like very full view. Oh, yes?
So if we do get cut from the squad, what does that mean?
I believe that means you go home, and what else does that mean for like Mazma's purposes? Yeah,
for Mazma's purposes. So when you get cut, it's basically like getting a stamp on your face that says crank. It's like.
Got it.
So listen, societal rules don't always make the most sense. But basically, you can do the tryouts as many times as you want year after year. But if you get kicked out of the Mazmas, that's it. You're not allowed back at the tryouts because you've already made it there and a captain made a judgment call that you don't have what it takes. So then you're out with no chance for redemption. That's why a lot of people who do what you tried to do, which is not do their best and don't get selected, just keep going back year after year to the tryouts, because if they get in and they undoubtedly will get cut, then they're right back at fucking square zero.
That is absolutely insane. This society, reevaluate yourself.
Reevaluate.
That's what I'm saying.
With that in mind, Dana's response is just, in the event that does happen, you will be returning home and will not be returning. Let's leave it at that for now.
So we tried our best in the tryouts, made it here, and if somebody rules that we didn't do well enough to be on a squad that has a limited number of slots already, we are cranks?
Yes, exactly. Knight Stokes.
I'm pretty sure I already know the answer, but assuming that I get cut, my head goes to the chopping block, right?
You actually get to my next point quite efficiently, Knight Stokes. Come with me. I would like to discuss something with you privately. I do say that like very much in full view of the room, kind of intentionally so that they know that I like have special instruction for him, because I sense the vibe and I want to make it clear, like, yeah, I know. And then if nobody else has any questions, like I'm going to take Jeremiah outside privately and talk to him.
Yeah, do that right now.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Jeremiah, I'm just going to take you outside of this dorm, somewhere in like a relatively private area. I'm sure there's a lot of people, running around, but somewhere where we won't be listened in on.
Do I still have cuffs on, Nathan?
No.
No, good. All right.
You're good. They removed the muzzle and the cuffs.
Gotcha.
You're all right.
All right.
Even when it's just us, you very much have like Baina looking at you surprisingly casually but seriously, and then Snake just dead staring you directly in the eyes, which probably is a lot more unsettling.
Vera is
I'm looking
here,
at
by the
this.
way. Vera is also here, by the way. She follows Captain Baina.
Yeah, that's
Gotcha.
fine. I don't mind. I don't mind Vera hearing this.
I am watching the snake. My eyes are on the snake.
Oh yeah, Beta doesn't care. Yeah,
I
fine
am
with
like,
me.
fancy scarf.
Thank you. Now, Mr. Stokes, I believe that before anything else happens, we should establish a little bit of our relationship. I might emphasize with you a little bit more than you think. I think his eyes kind of unconsciously flick to Vera and then very quickly back to Jeremiah, but he doesn't elaborate on that. He goes,
Got it.
now, you heard during Vera's lovely introduction that either of us are under orders to kill you if things happen. Let me establish my position on this. I don't wish to kill you or anything like that, don't worry. But I do understand the risks that you bring to the squad. If you run, if you go out of control, if you do anything like that, you become a liability. And more importantly, you become a distraction. I know that you were assigned randomly, but I believe by fate or destiny or what have you, that the reason you were put on my squad is I understand something. The moment you force anyone else on this squad to choose between their jobs and you, I will put an arrow through your neck before you can move another foot. Other than that, I will treat you just like any other member of this squad. And then after presenting that probably very scary thing very casually, he just holds out his hand for you to shake. He goes, do we understand each other?
I'm going to look down at your hand and go, Captain Bana, is it?
Mm.
Captain, anybody who has already made it to your squad would not be somebody I would try and convert anyways. And holds out his hand and shakes it. You will not have any problems from me.
I'm well aware. Any that do come up will be dealt with. And that's all I gotta say.
I'll be sure to duck.
Beta actually chuckles at that, like, legitimately.
Jeremiah smirks and then looks at Vera. Just as kind of like a maybe this wasn't the best idea sort of look.
And Vera meets your gaze and kind of goes, well, I agree that you are not quite Masmus material.
Won't get
Upon
any
hearing
complaints
that,
from me there.
very quietly under his breath, Bana just goes, which one of us are you talking to?
Jeremiah notes that immediately. His eyes like, I want it known that Vera sees Jeremiah's eyes snap to Bana the second he says that.
And then Bana, I need you to make an insight check on Vera.
I got a 13.
13. I think through her cold gaze, you might be wrong with a 13. You don't know. But you might see a hint of pleasant surprise after hearing your whole speech given to Jeremiah.
Noted.
And we can leave that conversation at that and sort of flash forward to the night before training begins. The dormitory is set up like there's this common area, and then there's like bunks on the left side, like all these, like all of you, how do I explain this? There's only 3 rooms. Well, if you include bathrooms, there's like 2 more. But there's only 3 big rooms. The main sort of hangout area, not that you're going to be doing much hanging out, and then 1 room with all of the bunk beds for all of the male squad members, and then another room with all of the bunk beds for all of the female squad members. And that's just it. This place is rickety. It's kind of old. It smells like a cabin. I'm gonna say that some people are hanging out in the common area. I don't know if all of you want to be there, or you all just want to go in your separate spaces. But there's a moment here for role play if anybody has something they want to say, talking amongst your squad mates, with the note that Jeremiah Stokes is with all of you because he's one of you.
Question.
Yeah.
Where do I sleep? Am I in
You
the,
have
the
like an
bunk
office
room?
on base and like a
Okay.
dorm and an
I'm
office
not
on
in
base.
the same room.
Essentially, I'm having a conversation with whoever's there at NetSlit, and I just say, it's like I said before, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you place, because If you were hand selected, you're here. If you were randomly selected, you're here. If you murdered a guy, you're also here. And somehow, even though there's only a limited amount of spots on the squad, you can still get cut despite doing everything apparently correctly and end up as a crank anyway. So that's my question. What is the point at that point?
How loud are you being?
I'm just talking out loud.
I think
Talking out
we'll
loud?
just say this is all happening in the common area. You guys already went and selected your beds and selected your bunks, and then came out to just kind of get to know each other.
I get that. I'm more saying, if I'm in the common area, I'm assuming by force. Then, and if I hear that, I'm kind of chuckling at that. I think that Jeremiah finds that funny. He's like, yeah, it's a good point. That's a fair point.
Oh, it is funny. It is funny because if this whole thing, at some level, I think it's okay to say that deep down, no one wants to be called the crank, right?
Yeah,
and
obviously.
If you have to follow a certain amount of rules to not be considered a crank, and you follow all of them, but some people are just inherently better than you, and they make the squad and you don't, you're still a crank. I might not be a mathematician here. I mean, I'm apparently a Masmus member, as is Jeremiah here. But does that make sense? Like, am I missing something?
Benjamin.
I don't think it makes sense.
Benjamin speaks up and goes, you kind of lost me.
I don't think I ever had you, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you're right. Abby Lyon speaks up. You're absolutely right.
Where in the conversation did you start trailing off, big guy? Don't hurt yourself.
It's I don't know, she started talking about like society, and I don't know, It's just a lot.
If I can put it this way, big guy.
Yeah.
You win, someone else wins, you lose.
Wow, that's messed up.
And that is the point. Good job, buddy.
Oh, thanks. So, Jeremiah, you killed a giant?
Yep. Yeah, I did. I absolutely did.
Like, with a squad, or...
I'm like looking over my shoulder to make sure I'm not going to get shot for revealing anything. I'm like, how blackballed is this? I like look over my shoulder to make sure there's no like agents trailing on me right now.
Bane is out the window, just...
Yeah, Bane has got that fucking snake, just fucking eyes. Like, I like go, no, I killed a giant.
Here. I mean, like, we're supposed to be a squad and all.
That's a great point. I guess I should speak freely. No, not with the squad. I killed the giant on my own.
What? Abby speaks up. Okay, bullshit. You can be a criminal, but don't, like, also be a liar.
Jeremiah turns to look at her with just this dead look in his eyes and just like, okay.
Benjamin speaks up, turns to Abby and goes, I don't know, I kind of believe him. Look at him. Notably, Lexi is not in this conversation. Lexi went to bed. Yeah.
Would the Daily Scrits have reported on those kind of rumors or anything?
For sure.
If I'm not mistaken, because I threw some ideas at Nate, how, like, what's the word for it?
Outlandish?
Dramatized.
Oh, dramatized.
Yeah, how dramatized are the rumors that the Scrits are spreading about what happened?
I think that's a question for RG.
Because knowing you know what actually happened, knowing that, and knowing that they are calling me Giant's Bane and brought me in here, how out there are the stories?
I think they've got to be very out there. I think the Daily Scripts absolutely would have dramatized this because, one, it makes it, scary criminal on the loose. We caught this really, like, strong person that has been taking people out of the Masmus. And two, if you build them up as super duper strong, like, And then they have him join the Masmus. That's also really good propaganda for the Masmus. So there is probably the implication that, like, it's been said that he's taken down multiple giants on its own. Possibly in one encounter.
Taking out squads. All 5'3" of me.
But yeah, I would say Lexi isn't alone, by the way. Probably about half of people decided took the choice to get a good night's rest before hell begins, as opposed to socializing. So Lexi isn't like alone in that regard. I'm curious if RG and Ari are out here socializing.
Probably, yes. At this point, RG's gonna say, well, it's not really a question of whether he's killed one, it's whether he's done, multiple. And at one point, he's killed multiple, so I mean, what is it?
Abby again, just like, oh my god, not you too. Did everyone think this guy's like a demigod or something?
It's not.
Mother Nature didn't pull him out of the earth like a fruit and bestow him upon us to save the world. He's just a guy.
I'm decently sure that didn't happen, no.
We're in agreement.
But you've killed a giant.
I've killed giants, yes.
I mean, I'll believe it when I see it, dude.
I mean, is there really another reason that they would say it when they brought me in here? It's not exactly improving morale.
Ari speaks up and goes, I mean, Abby, look at him. He looks like a feral animal. I think he could do it. I think it takes everything he's got, but I think he could do it. I think he looks like he spent his whole life backed into a corner. And when animals get backed into a corner, they know how to fight.
I'll take that as the compliment that I'm assuming you mean it as, ma'am.
Yeah, you're welcome, scoundrel. Thank you for helping us sell the papers, though. That was really nice of you. It's a great story.
Well, I aim to impress.
And if nobody else has anything else they want to role play, we can...
If there's a moment RG could get with Jeremiah, if not alone, then like out of earshot of other people.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. We can say that people are kind of like turning in and like you guys are selecting your bunks and like getting set up and you can sort of pull them away if you'd like.
Yeah,
Yeah, totally.
RG would walk up to it. Yeah, word. So, look, if I'm towing the family line and the publication line, you're a scumbag, and I shouldn't be talking to you. But...
I am both of those things, and that is true.
Did we talk at all at orientation? Just because I'm kind of a journaler, and it says that I talked to you, and that I got a note. But I woke up the next day, and I had no note, so... I feel like I'm going a little crazy. It feels like there's just some kind of... I don't know.
I talked to you in the lunchroom. I said hi, I talked to you and your sister, and then I walked away.
Are you sure that was it? There was nothing else?
I didn't talk to you after that, as far as I'm aware.
I'm gonna need a deception roll.
I was too busy. Okay.
RJ, you can roll an insight. It's a little meta, but we'll allow it.
You don't believe me.
Well, what did you get? Because my
2.
roll wasn't fantastic. Oh, okay.
You don't believe me.
Okay. Right. A 7 will beat that, barely.
Incredible battle of wits happening right now.
Oh,
Yeah.
socializing, guys.
Did I see? Did you talk to me? No.
I don't believe you. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
I'm already here. What?
In that case, RG folds his arms and says, well, in that case, I must be some kind of psychic. Because logged in my dream journal, which I also have, I talked to someone who looked a lot like you, and we had some kind of philosophical debate in my dream, which that has happened before, but this feels different because you're a real guy. So, do I have some latent prophetic visions that I haven't been informed of? Or, here's a crazy thought, the criminal's lying to me right now, and maybe he should be a little more forward if we're going to work together.
Well, My intuition tells me to say that you have a inadmissible in court dream journal that says that you talked to me in a philosophical debate at some point that I can't recall. However, seeing as I am probably going to spend the rest of my life in this squad long after you either die or get promoted or move on, yes, we did talk. You showed up to the event the next morning. You showed up to the piece of paper that I did give you in your hand as you walked away. You heard us out, and you were the only one to not come along. And honestly, I respect your resolve.
Well, in the sake of us being on the same squad, I want to say I was maybe a little bit of a dick when I was talking about the stuff. So I hope that we can have a professional thing, I guess. And for the record, I only went to that on purely investigative grounds. I never had any
absolutely sure you were.
Do you know what happened to the others?
That deception roll was a nat 1, by the way. Continue.
Sorry, you... What exactly were you deceiving me on? Refresh me.
I'm absolutely sure you were.
Okay.
You know I know that that's not true. But that's...
Do you know what happened to the others that were caught with you?
No.
Do you
I know
care?
that the giant that was going towards us wasn't able to get to them, and it got to me first. I don't know what the Masmus did with them afterwards.
Do you care what happened to them?
I risked my life to make sure that they got out of there safely. I would gladly do it again to make sure they got out of here safely as well.
That is noted as well. Because if you think about it, they're kind of in a morally gray area. And it might be worth investigating what actually did happen to them. So...
I know that they don't usually do recruitments in criminal raids.
This is a thread we should pick up on. It's late, but if you
I
have
agree.
names, I can look into where those people went.
I will be sure to provide them with you.
Well, hopefully they don't come to me in a dream again.
If they do, make sure you don't write it in the dream journal.
It's good practice. It's good practice. And RG's going to head back in.
Sweet. And then we'll begin the tryouts. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit of a fun fact, maybe not so fun fact, about, not the tryouts, sorry, the training. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a fun fact about the training that most of you would probably be familiar with. Notoriously, if you've looked into anything about the Masmus at all, you know that every captain does things differently. They train their squad how they want, with the exception of the first 6 months is supposed to be hell. It's supposed to be like fucking boot camp, like conditioning.
Weed out the cranks.
Weed out the weak. It is not uncommon for like 50% of the people just off rip to get cut or quit themselves. You can quit on your own. Once you're here, you're not locked in, but you have to deal with the societal judgment of all that. And so the first 6 months is like it's like boot camp. It's like conditioning. You're running drills. You're practicing. You all had like recommended. You've been assigned like sort of squad roles that would best fit your skill sets. So you're going to be practicing those. And it's only until you get through those 6 months that then classes will begin, and you'll actually start honing in like your craft. That being said, we're obviously not going to role play through 6 months of all this. So we're going to try to do something a little fun and weird here. I want all of you to sort of like, and I'll cut this together in a more cinematic way, but like sort of describe a moment in training that you want to like see happen in sort of like a training montage. And then I'll have you roll for it. And depending on if you roll good or bad, then Bana will kind of step in and either assist you or have a moment with you. Just brief little moments, like you get full sort of DM control on describing what's happening in your little moment. And just a little improv sort of exercise, a creative character building
with me.
exercise. And then your relationships will develop with Bana as we do that.
As people are thinking, should I go into like Bana's how he trains, just a little bit of that for context? Because I know we established like the specific way that he does that.
Yeah.
Which might inform. Yeah. So, as he mentioned in his little orientation speech, a lot of Bana's training is focused on like helping people think for themselves and figure out quick responses to situations, which is probably a good thing for soldiers to do. He is not a drill sergeant, like he said. But when he said that not everyone was going to enjoy the way that he trains, what Bana's sort of very specific training thing that he does is very impromptu situations. He will set up various tests. They might be like simulated giant combat. They might be obstacle courses. They might be really anything that comes to mind. And he will spring this on the squad literally anytime. Day or night, he will just throw everybody into a situation with no warning and basically no instruction on what to do because he wants to see how people react. He's a scientist, and the way that he thinks training is the most effective is basically to just put everybody in a situation, see how that situation goes, good or bad, and then like the next day's training will be focused on what happened in the previous exercise, teaching people like how to improve things that went well, congratulating them on what did go well. So it is very good on teaching you guys to like adapt quickly to various situations, but also it sucks because he's super chill until the moment where he's not. And in that moment when he decides a situation is going to happen, everybody needs to be locked in and ready to go at a moment's notice. Like he has somewhat of a hyperfixation on that. Otherwise he's chill. But when he's not chill, it's like a light switch gets flipped.
With that said, I think we'll just kick right off with like 4 a.m.
Yep.
Day 1. Bana.
I kick in the door. If it's dark, I have like a crystal that's super bright illuminated
like
held over my head.
Got it. That's all I need to hear. I grab my climbing gear on the chain, and you see it thrown at the crystal, and either hits it or the wall behind it. I got a 2, so
it dunks in a 2. What do you add to your?
Totally miss. Okay.
Yeah, it dunks into the wall behind the crystal as bodies start pouring out of the bunks.
Bana looks directly at you, completely unfazed. You are ready quickly. You immediately threw your axe at the target, not at a person. You chose the source of the danger correctly and accurately. You need to work on your exact throwing skills, but good first impression. And then just continues. Like, he actually liked that a lot.
We got it. We cut to a different random day. It's fucking pissing down raining. Fucking big boy, Benjamin Tornala, is just... and he falls over. Abby Lyons looks behind and says, "You gotta fucking get up, big guy!"
I'm gonna like hook under his arm and try and like.
It's gonna be a hell of a strength check.
It's gonna, yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna succeed. I need some help, but.
Bana was also coming over, sees this happen, stops, lets this play out first, wants to see how this goes.
If this fucks me one more time, I swear. Okay, that's a 19.
19?
Right.
You're able to kind of get this guy up, and he goes, "What are you doing? Go on without me. I can't do it. It's too much cardio."
We're on horses 90% of the time, big guy. You'll be fine. Come on.
I just need some brisket or something.
There'll be brisket at the camp. Just, you gotta keep moving.
I don't know if I'm built for this.
I imagine this is not the first time that this kind of thing has happened. Yeah, so Bana's gonna jog up to you two. Just very quickly address Stokes. He goes, "Stokes, well done. You can move on. And then just without missing a beat, Bana just still kind of dry goes, Mr. Tornala, I'm afraid this has happened one too many times. I believe that this is going to be the final straw, and you are cut from the squad. And then just gone.
Oh my
Still
god.
onwards.
What? Wait, what? And the whole squad leaves him behind in the rain and the mud, cutting quickly away.
RG, whenever he's doing an exercise, is trying to take an inadvisable portion of work. Like, we're doing this drill once, I want to do it 3 times. I want to try to do it 3 times. I want to make myself work until I vomit to prove that I can do it.
Give me 3 rolls in a row and add your dexterity modifier to it.
First roll is an 18.
Very good.
Okay.
Second roll's an 18. That's
Okay.
Okay.
Third roll's an 18 on a die for a dirty 20.
Wow.
Oh my god. Bana's gonna notice that this is like happening, and I think like on the second run where he's obviously doing more, Bana walks over and is like about to say something, notices that he's doing well, watches him do it the 3rd time even faster than before, and then calls in and goes, Argentum, come down here for a moment.
Yes, sir.
I take him by the shoulder and because this is on a giant dummy, right?
Yeah.
Yes, I take
imagine
him
he
by
smells
the
like
shoulder
steam
and I like
mushrooms,
guide
so
him into the shade of this gigantic thing. Well, Argentum, I was going to come over here to tell you that you didn't have to continue. And he looks up at the dummy. That was impressive.
There was a theory in my household, sir. Whatever you do in training, real life's gonna be at least 3 times as hard. So in training, do 3 times the work.
Bana nods, goes, I can appreciate that mentality. That said, there is such a thing as overworking. In a combat situation, if you overextend yourself, you don't know what's going to be coming next. You need to conserve your energy. In the future, maybe doing 2 times as work is adequate.
I will keep pushing my limits, sir. The suffering builds character, as they say.
Take 10 minutes. Take 15. You have earned it.
I will take 5. Break should be divided by 3.
We cut away. With every day that passes, the squad gets a little bit smaller and smaller. Here we see Ari and Avi Lion, the 2 anchors that we know of, doing a sort of training exercise where they're supposed to do this specific maneuver and run around. Like, Bana, I imagine you're like on a lever and this scarecrow like can move in position slightly and rotate. And you're like cranking this lever.
I have a clipboard that I'm writing things down on, and like still on my body, Amphas's tail is moving the lever as I'm
Amazing.
standing there writing with both hands.
And they go to approach and do this maneuver. You move the giant. Ari yells out, rotation, come around. And Abby goes, nah, I got it. And cuts right in front of her and almost gets hit by one of Ari's arrows. Like it whizzes right by her. And Ari kind of goes, what the fuck, Abby?
Before saying anything to the rest of the squad, Bana's gonna turn to Amphas. Go. In too many situations like that, I don't think that Abby's cut out for this. I do believe we're going to have to cut her. And while he says this to Amphas, it's loud enough she can hear.
Yeah, Abby's in the distance like, what?
And then Bana kind of looks up and goes, well, I suppose you heard.
Son of a bitch! Damn it, Ari! This is all your fault! And they get into a scuffle. We'll cut away to our stalwarts. We have 2 of them. You both have horses at this time because, you know, you gotta train with your horses. Lexi uses a melee weapon and Winnie uses a ranged weapon. You guys are like running a kind of drill with an actual giant. And a giant is like running in this big courtyard and you're like chasing after him. What do we see? Do we see the dynamic duo in action in training?
Throughout training, Winnie has been trying to convince Lexi to like, you need to learn how to use a bow. You cannot, no matter how much you like the sword, you cannot be using a melee weapon around the ankles of giants. I think we are actively having that argument as we are doing this training exercise.
Yeah, you guys are like galloping like the wind. He's like, what can I say? I'm a sucker for the theatrics.
It doesn't matter if you get squashed.
And right as you say that, what you're practicing right now is chasing. And the giant turns on a dime. Both of you are going to make a sort of dex check here to see if you can accurately track
If
him.
either of them get low, I want to jump in on this. I'm
Yeah,
going to just call
of
that now
course.
before the dice are rolled.
I think that I do my watchful aid and say, sharp turn!
Got it! And he does one to you as well. He does one to you as well. So you both get a D8.
That's a 19.
Lexi also rolled a 19, and with your watchful aid, got a dirty 23. The giant, like he's running the pacer test, stops and runs back towards you to run over you, and you guys bob and weave. Lexi goes between the legs, you go out and around, and immediately turn and are following him right back.
Bana, if you guys look back over at him, he has an anchoring arrow drawn back, ready to fire at the back of this giant in case either of you do fuck this up. And as you look back, he puts it down, just kind of calls it and goes, I was worried that your conversation would derail your focus, but it appears that was unnecessary. Well done. Keep things focused in the future, just in case, but good exercise.
Nothing like a little battlefield chatter, right, Captain?
It can be very bad, but again, good job.
And again, it wouldn't have been so close of a call if you just learned how to use a bow.
We were fine. And we cut away where Jeremiah gets an opportunity to show off what he's capable of.
All I'm thinking is potentially somebody is like calling my bluff on killing the giant.
We can flash back and say that Abby, who's been calling your bullshit the entire time, in a time before she got cut, was like, go ahead, show us what you got. You killed a giant all by yourself. Let's see it.
Okay. I grab my axe and I want to do the exact thing that I did to the giant.
I won't, for cinematics, I won't even have to roll for it. You know.
Gasp. I want the brutalization part to be in there too, because I want it to be a little.
Yeah.
Like, stop fucking asking about it. So,
actually, I would say RG, roll me like a oh my gosh, what would this even be? Knowledge on climbing maneuvers. Check. So like just maybe intelligence?
Flat intelligence check will be a 21.
Sheesh.
Damn, dude.
That's good.
He's a well-researched boy. Good
so
Lord.
you probably tracked that Jeremiah had only one climbing axe from the beginning, but this you really get to see it in action here. This takes what your climbing style is. First off, is the only one that they train, which is accuracy and speed and prioritizes safety. You see Jeremiah take a crack at this with his climbing axe on a chain that he throws like a fucking lasso. And you can tell that the priority for his is like caution to the wind, elimination is all that matters. And like the points, even like you're kind of taught points of contact, like, oh, attach at the thigh, go around the back. Jeremiah does not do that shit. He hooks right in the back of the knee, uses that to pull himself up, fucking hooks around, catches in the clavicle, and fucking hoists it. Like, you can tell there's a serious understanding of anatomy that's going on in Jeremiah's mind when he's doing these maneuvers.
You can also tell that the points that he is trying to hit are specifically targeted at pain points, parts that are going to hurt like a bitch and probably stun someone from the amount of pain it causes. That is where he's aiming.
And you have no idea where the fuck he learned how to do that, Bana. Neither do you.
Yeah, would this be the first time I see that in action?
We can say this is the first time, sure.
Yeah, because I would say I've been climbing procedurally. Like, I've been climbing the way I'm supposed to in all of our exercises up to this point. I'm doing this because I was like, all right, pussy, you fucking do it the way you fucking did. If you're gonna say you kill a giant on your own, dumbass, you fucking do it. That's the only reason I'm showing off right now.
Mike, you said RG was gonna say something. You can go first.
He's not gonna say anything. RG's hands are on his head and his jaw is on the floor. Oh, he has my job.
I have to work with him.
I have to outshine him.
Ari,
I gotta be the marketable guy in this duology. You gotta be fucking kidding me, man.
Ari is right beside you. Ari's right beside you, hands on her head, like, this is gonna be a fucking nightmare.
Oh, the press isn't gonna like this. Oh,
fuck,
God.
he's so cool.
Stop the presses. No one can know about this. Please don't print how cool this guy is.
Okay. Bana's gonna, assuming everyone's just fucking speechless. Baina's gonna stand up and just kind of look over the room and be like, you've all heard the stories. Now you've seen them in action. As you were. And then I want to roll a deception check on myself, like from myself, to see how cool I can keep having never seen that before.
Winnie, what were you going to say?
I think when he's turned to Lexi, just like, I know I talk a lot of shit about the daily shit, but I don't think they exaggerated. I think he actually did kill like a whole legion of these guys. But did you see that?
Yeah, I saw it.
Did you see that?
I mean, I don't like the guy, but his talent is unfortunately undeniable.
That was brutal. That took him like 3 seconds.
It was crazy.
He was on the ground, then he was up at the clavicle.
I don't even like getting off the ground at all. And so it's insane. I knew like he's a short guy. He's probably 40 pounds soaking wet, and it shows. He just flies.
He zoomed up there.
Baina, how much cool can you keep it?
Baina gets up there, basically tries to calm everybody down without acknowledging that was impressive. I got a 4. So like, yeah, that was impressive. The sense is very much like, yeah, I get why the captain can't condone that, but he knows.
It worked, but okay. After felling the dummy, Jeremiah's just gonna look at it and just okay. And he turns back to the person who basically dared him to do it and hands his weapon to her and goes, "You want to try?"
You know what, man? I'm good. I had a little thing going on with my lower back right now, and
I guarantee you it is a lot more intuitive once you actually hold it.
yeah, you know, I will have to pass. Maybe some other time. Winnie?
Yeah?
I'll do it.
Winnie, you don't have to...
Awesome. I toss hands and hand it over to Winnie immediately.
Allow this. Has Winnie ever done any sort of climbing stuff before?
Yeah, this is not only not your role, but
No,
not your
right?
weapon. This is...
Yeah, no way in hell am I letting someone, one of my untrained recruits, basically swing around a scythe on a chain.
I can do it!
Yeah.
There's no way in hell. Beta kind of quickly rushes over and goes, absolutely not.
I can guarantee you I wasn't trained either when I first started using it.
I pluck the axe right out of Winnie's hand. I'm like, Winnie, you are excellent at the role you have been assigned to. You are never doing this.
I agree, says Lexi.
And then I go over, I hand the thing back to Jeremiah. And like, as he reaches out to take it, I kind of pull it back a little bit. Mr. Stokes, for future reference,
Yes, Captain.
if you're using this weapon to hook around various angles as you did, be aware of any active anchor points. It's possible that your blade could catch on the vines. And then I hand it back.
I take it back and I go, very much appreciated. If you would be so kind, I would love to compare engineering notes with you to better equip myself.
He... Make an insight check.
Okay.
Gonna...
I don't get it.
Nothing? Okay, yeah. I suppose that might be a good idea, as we can integrate your methods better into the squad as a whole. And then just nods, walks away.
I holster my weapon and I go and walk and sit back down.
Cool. So we're going to cut away to the end of the first 6 months of training. So what happens in the Maximus is every 6 months you get like formally reassessed. So it's not impossible to get cut later, but if you make it in the first 6 months, like, you're pretty good, you know? And you make it past this reassessment, and you're all in the common area of Dormitory 6. Vera is there. Baina is there, about to give you basically a sort of speech of congratulations. The question is, who is left? Well, we have RG, the climber. His sister Ari, the anchor. We have Winnie, the stalwart. And Lexi, the stalwart. We have Jeremiah, the climber. That's it. Pretty small. Average squad size is 16. Pretty small.
Baina, didn't they tell you to do exactly not this?
They said don't cut everyone, and there are people in this room.
And Bana is set to give his speech of congratulations.
I have a question for the room, actually, before I do this, because this might slightly affect the content of this speech. This could be super quick, but I want to know what your character's like attitudes towards Bana are after the 6 months.
Question.
He's basically like he's been, where it's like, if you're doing... He doesn't give false compliments. He says things very much as they are. So if you've been doing well, which all of you have, like, he's praised your skill enough. But also, you've seen him be blunt as hell to other people, and there have also been situations in which he has done that to you, for sure. But yeah, I just kind of want to know generally what everyone's vibes are, and if you have questions, I mean, for the sake of time, this probably shouldn't go too long, but like, if you have questions about how we handle the training, you can ask, depending on Nathan's timing for this episode.
Yeah, we could go around. I'd love to hear that.
I will say off the jump, Jeremiah's attitude is along the lines of like, I'm fascinated by your freaky ass snake, and because I've kind of built my own weaponry for so many years, I want to know what I can do to make my weapons work better. Because I may have accepted the fact that I'm going to be here for the rest of my life, but I'm not planning on that. So I would like to be as prepared as possible if that chance ever arrives. But ultimately, it's kind of a begrudging, like, that. Yeah, he's my commanding officer. He's fair. Most commanding officers would probably make me the fucking punching bag, and he didn't. So,
yeah,
it's fair enough.
I will say, in response, you get the sense he actually probably likes you a lot more than you would expect. But despite that, like, you can very clearly tell that his promise of, like, if you pull any shit, I will kill you before you take another step has not changed. Despite liking you, that is still very, very, very much true.
I get that vibe from everybody, I'm going to assume.
Anybody else?
I think Winnie's general like feelings about Beta. Well, first of all, when we started training, I'm sure Lexi had to talk her off the ledge of reporting him to the High Blade for being an insane motherfucker. So many times.
Yeah.
So many times.
Oh,
sure.
she would have approved everything I did. She probably would have been like, I wouldn't think you would take this so seriously. Good job.
Also, man, I think there probably was a time where, like, she had gone up to him and been like, yeah, you don't want to be here. And I don't want to be here. I'm literally only here to make sure that that guy does not die. And that guy's Lexi. And if you can make sure that doesn't happen, then I guess we're here.
I would say in that moment, that is his response to you in that moment is actually the most like genuine and nice you have ever seen him be to literally anyone. Like, his expression softens more than you've ever seen it, and he just, without saying anything else, without grandstanding, he puts his hand on his heart and goes, I promise I will do my best.
Your best better be keeping him alive.
Yeah, and again, he just nods. He 100% fully respects that.
What about you, RG?
I think RG is a bit less... I think RG is very respectful, but privately not impressed by Bana. He does not like the unorthodox training style. He does not like how much he likes Jeremiah. He'll do the training, and he does ultimately want his approval, but RG, I think has kept it fairly distant.
Yeah, and I think Ari shares a similar view. I think Lexi has no problems with you at all. I think he likes you.
So with that, it seems like the squad has a sort of generally favorable, or at the very least accepting.
They respect you.
Yeah, that's good enough for him. His speech, extremely casual, less casual than his orientation even, which I think at this point you can probably take as more of a sign that this is like more sincere somehow, because if he takes something seriously, he's going to overthink it. And you can tell that he has not overthought this, which means that he trusts you, if that makes sense. But he kind of gathers everybody together. And very simply goes, all right, as I'm sure all of you know, as of today, you have all hit the 6-month mark on your training. This is a big milestone For those of you who have gotten this far, you have my sincerest congratulations. I promised you at the beginning of this that anyone who lasted this long would earn their spot. And whatever your thoughts on the state of this squad and your thoughts on me are, I can assure you that I respect you all, and I truly do think that you have earned your place. So, congratulations again to each and every one of you. Now, as much as I'm sure you would like to have some sort of break, there will not be one. Not right now. We have many, many things to get a handle on, but now, officially, we can say that you are a squad. And that means, as some little reward for your hard work, we need to choose a name. Now, I will not be choosing the name for our squad. I would like this to be a group effort. You all know each other well at this point, but the name does need to be chosen by tomorrow, so we do have something of a timeline for this, but it should be a collective effort that you feel all represents yourselves individually, so think on that for the rest of the night. Also, as I'm sure at least some of you are aware, we do have another event tomorrow, that being the gift assessments. Some of you might have heard about this. For my note,
Yeah.
Who is blessed and not gifted in this squad? Is it just Winnie?
Winnie
think it
is
is
blessed
literally-
and not gifted. RG and Ari are both gifted. Lexi has nothing, and Jeremiah has nothing.
So only Winnie is going to be doing this testing. Yeah.
Per tradition, probably RG and Ari should too.
Okay. So in that
They
case,
already
I'm
have
going
their
to sort
gift.
of I'm going to address this next part to RG, Ari, and Winnie, but like kind of make it a little bit more clear that it's really for Winnie, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to be looking mostly at her. Now, this training is going to be for RG, Ari, and Winsome. You will be, well, how much have you heard of the gift assessments? That's another question for Nathan. Do they know what these entail?
No.
I'm assuming RG and Ari do, but they don't?
They might have an inkling. Well, they have an inkling on how gifts are brought out of people, but they don't know what goes on in the Masmas specifically.
Okay. I'm not going to tell them specifically yet. I must warn you, this can be an unsettling process. I am blessed myself. I have gone through this. I don't believe it has changed in the 18 years since I went through this same academy. I came out of it fine. Most people do come out of it fine. I have nothing but utmost faith that you will as well. We shall see what your status is after tomorrow, but if you are fortunate enough, you may come out of it with more power than before, and if that is your choice for your lives, I hope that you do come out of it with that power. But, to everyone, let me say it one final time, congratulations. It's been a long road. I'm proud of you all, and let's continue forward as a squad from here. Choose your name. Again, we have a deadline to meet. You get the sense that this was maybe something he should have said earlier and forgot to tell you until now.
Yeah.
And then I don't think he leaves, because I think he wants to know what the squad naming process is. So he's just gonna sit down.
Well, at this point, Highblade Vera
There's-
will speak up. I go, one last thing. To nobody's surprise, Bana has cut nearly the maximum amount of people that he can. We are too small to function as a regular squad. Thankfully, I've already gotten the Warlord Assembly's approval for us to be considered a special operations unit. In order to get this approval, we needed to take on a field medic, which will be a transfer from another squad. Now, this transfer has gone through hell these last 6 months, just like the rest of you. So don't, and before she can even finish speaking, bursting through the door is a dog made of vines. And it goes, "Arr, arr," and like runs in, bursts through the door, and starts like doing circles around Vera, who just kind of looks down, more just annoyed that she was interrupted. And quickly following this dog is a guy who's probably around, he's a little older, he's probably around 23 or 24. He's wearing his Masmas uniform, but it looks a little bit different from yours. He's holding a staff with an emerald on top, or like a crystal on top, and his pants are rolled up above the knee, and he's not wearing any shoes at all. He's just barefoot, dogs out, literally.
And also his feet.
And also his feet. And he runs in, and he goes, "Damn it, Spud, heal! You can't keep running off like that." And he's got kind of like this shit-eating grin, followed by nervous laughter because he's being embarrassed. Long sort of medium length, messy blonde hair. Kind of looks like a surfer dude. He runs up to his dog, and says, "Apologies, Highblade Vera. You got out of my hand." And Vera just goes, "It is all right. Go ahead and introduce yourself." He goes, "Right."
Can I cut in real quick with Baina's reaction to this?
Sure.
First off, I just want to say, for contrast, this was a concept I came up with, and I statted out. So I'm so excited to see these creatures in the campaign. That said, when this dog runs in, Amphis rattles, and Baina looks maybe more mad than he did when he found out Jeremiah was joining the squad. You immediately get like, oh, he's not a dog person. All right, cool.
This guy stands up, and he goes, right. What's up, everybody? You already met Spud here. This is my certified assistant. And Spud has a little like satchel backpack of his own to carry medical supplies and things.
Are we all sitting in a row? Like, are we all sitting in the same row of this like auditorium?
Yeah. In the common area of your dormitory.
Got it. I'm gonna like lean over the row and just very quietly be, I want all of you to know that I am gonna protect you with my life. But if I have to kill any one of you to protect Spud, I will. And then lean back into my chair.
Obviously, you've already met Spud as my little assistant and pain in my ass. I'm a certified witch, which in this world, witches specialize in medicine. I'm a certified witch. I was before I even tried out, and now here in the Masbis, I'm training to be a field medic. Basically, I'm here to make sure you don't die, so you're welcome in advance. My name is Cyrus Platt, but you can just call me Splat. And he continues, and he says,
I can't believe I interjected as Baina before hearing that. Oh
and
my God.
Says, and it's a great honor to be a part of this squad under the legendary Captain Baina.
Baina is generally a very stoic, if blunt man. He looks genuinely stunned. Like his mouth is open slightly. He does not have words. At this point, like, literally it's to the point where as Cyrus addresses him, after a moment, Amphis wraps around Baina's arm and, like, makes it wave in greeting. And then that kind of shakes him out and goes, yes, thank you for your addition to the squad. We're happy to have a healer on board.
Yeah, sure thing, dude. And that is where we will take our intermission.
I didn't know this was who the character was before I was like, Baina doesn't like dogs. Oh, fuck.
We will be right
If you
back.
don't know, you'll find out.
Stick with us, and we'll see you soon. What's up, you fucking nerds? Guess what? Tales from Cazilor merch is officially available. We have hoodies and t-shirts available in 2 different designs. Like this and this. This one's got the logo on the back. We also are selling 3-foot by 5-foot Masmis flags. This is pretty fucking big. And one time for the bad bitches, we are also selling Masmis flag inspired earrings. Take a look at that shit, bro. Oh my God. All of this merch is available at nathanapollo.com, and 25% of all profits will be donated to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund. So not only can you get some dope-ass merch, but you can also help free Palestine. That's what I'm talking about! Now returning to your regularly scheduled program. And we are back from our intermission. Hey, if you made it this far, now's a great time to mention that after we record these, we do an after show that is Patreon exclusive. The last one was like an hour. It's always a good time. We talk about the episode we just played through, and for just $5 a month on Patreon, you can get access to all of that and all of the ones that we've done previously. I think we're going to just cut right back into the moment after your new squad mate was revealed. Cyrus Platt, your field medic in training and certified witch. You guys have all been tasked by Captain Baina to come up with a squad name now. And I think sort of immediately breaking the ice, Vera leaves. I know Baina's kind of kicking around to watch this discussion go down, but immediately breaking the ice, Splat kind of goes, all right, so I'm fairly confident this pitch is what got me kicked out of my last squad, but Super Mega Death Squad is right there, and I think that's dope as hell, and we should heavily consider it.
Counterpoint.
Damn.
No.
You know, it's
No, it's okay. You don't gotta like it. It was a long shot. Go ahead. I'm new here.
Does he know?
It's fine.
About-
Do I know
Yeah,
what?
it'd be kind of an image sort of branding issue if we kind of went super hard on the death angle. I actually have a few. I had a few ideas. Not a lot of them made it through the outline process. And RG like pulls out a small but very much used notebook. If you can see the pages are lined with names, most of which are scratched out. Like, which ones did I like? Which ones did I keep? Give me a minute. Giant Spana, no. Why didn't I scratch that out?
Beta looks up like, huh?
This is a stupid idea.
I look over at Bana and I'm like,
he's both him and Amphis in exact coordination shake their heads.
Giant Spana, is that like a reference to something that I don't get?
don't worry about it.
No.
Okay.
It'll be funny in a couple of months.
All right, cool.
Do something splat. And I do not mean this to be rude. Do you read?
Do I read?
Yes.
Yeah, I read. I went to witch school.
What do you
Do you read the paper?
I guess I could be better about it. Why?
You know what? It's actually not that important. Just questioning.
Cool.
Hey, RG, what's your full name again?
Argentum Scritori.
That's a fun last name. Oh, kind of like the. Oh, wait a second. Like the. What the fuck is that shit called? Like the Daily
There you
Shits
go.
or whatever.
Yeah. The paper. The paper.
The Daily Shits.
That was the name, I think.
I think that
The
is the
Daily
name
Shit?
of
Like
that
the.
paper,
Like yeah, like the
actually.
newspaper.
Some days that's the name, I guess. I had an idea for Puny Squad, like Puni, like punitive, because we have, Jeremiah's whole deal, but also we're a very small squad, and that kind of. No.
Don't worry about it, Splat.
Yay,
It's fine.
nay.
I appreciate the effort.
I'm all for jailbirds. I think that'd be funny.
I don't personally.
Jailbird.
Might I remind you that while I wanted this to be a team effort, this does go on my record.
That's hilarious. We got to make it something dumb.
I love him already.
Hey, thanks,
He is
dude.
my new favorite.
Beta's day was going so well.
We got to make it something dumb. I don't know.
The headlines.
Headline Squad.
The headliners.
Squad.
Headliners. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, are we though? Like, we're kind of small.
Well, we got a famous guy, an infamous guy, and two paper people.
Paper people. Yeah, okay, well, hold on. I'm tracking famous. I'm tracking paper people. Infamous?
Oh, yeah, I killed a giant and I'm here on punitive service. Don't worry about it.
By yourself?
Yeah. Actually, Masmus agent, and then got taken down by like 6 dudes.
That's badass. That's great.
Why, thank you.
So maybe headline would work. If we were all fellas, like I wouldn't be opposed to like the Press Boys or something.
The news.
I actually really like the headliners.
I
Headline.
like,
What do they call it? The title of the paper? Is that the headline?
yeah.
I don't have anything against it.
Anybody
Headliner
opposed?
sounds like a winner.
RG, if you like, we can say it was your idea, because name suggested by known felon is probably not great on the byline.
We don't have to say whose idea it was.
Yeah, it's a group effort.
It's a group effort. Yeah.
Remember,
This is out of universe, but I really do like this lore-wise, because like the goal of climbers is slashing the throat. So there's a double meaning there that I think is kind of neat.
That's cute.
So I
you know, it
like,
would be hilarious if that's our logo. If that's like our
Just
squad
ding.
symbol is a head with a line across its neck.
I think that's
that,
cool.
that would definitely be something. Fuck, I'm forgetting the name. Knights in ancient history would put like a family crest or something like
Yeah,
that on
their
their
crests
armor,
and-
but our crest would just be like a,
it's just a head with the neck, and then there's a line through the neck.
I I think we can have the best of both worlds and do like the headliner squad. I think having
also
the
works.
in there makes it more cool. Anybody opposed? And I imagine nobody raises their hands.
No. So in that case, I guess it is Baina's job to sort of make this official. He stands up and goes, "All right, the headliner squad it is. I will report this to Vera and the rest of the superior officers tomorrow."
Baina gets out of there.
I
assume.
do kind of have to talk to Splat at some point.
I was gonna say,
I don't know when would be the best
as
for
the
this.
night
If this
goes
is like
on,
the next day.
we have another opportunity for role play moments if anybody wants them. I know Matt's gonna want to talk to Splat.
I don't know. Oh, I do. Baina doesn't.
I say jump on
but feels
that.
obligated.
I want to hear this conversation.
Yeah, I think I don't like leave the building or anything, but as I'm sure, unhelpful as this is to say to the DM, Baina's attitude towards this is very much like, this is something that I probably should do. Has no idea how he's going to go about it, so he's just kind of going to pull Splat to the side of the room, and just very awkwardly, clearly not knowing what to say, goes, Splat, thank you for your service on our squad. I'm sure you'll be very helpful.
Yeah, no problem, man. Here to help.
I know that our families have
Dude, you don't
history.
you don't really have to do all this, really. Okay, it's not. It's
I
not that deep.
I hope you don't hold anything against me personally. I did what I could.
No, I know.
like to think
No,
I
I
did
know.
what
I
I-
know. And Asher, he trusted you with his life, and I don't hold that against you. I mean, like you said, you did what you could.
At hearing he trusted you with his life and I don't hold it against you, Baina freezes up so much. That's like the worst possible thing that could have been said. He actively does freeze up until Cyrus says something else. He's
He'll
having a
keep talking.
flashback in his head.
And he's just like, no, I'm not mad at you, Captain. Maybe the situation is shitty.
And I've tried my best in the coming years to atone for that and make sure it doesn't happen again. That's what all
And-
my work amounts to at the end of the day.
As does mine. That's why I'm here. Just in case you were to have any shortcomings again.
Baina just leaves. He leaves the building. He doesn't say another word. He's gone.
Good talk, Captain. I am happy to be here. And
He does not look back. He does not say another word. Anthus looks back as he's leaving, but head down, dead silent, straight walk out of the room, immediately back to his office. Tries to go to sleep, does not.
got it.
You pulled him aside in the common area, right? Or did you pull him out into like a hallway? You pull him outside.
It was out to like a corner where hopefully no one could hear. But like
Right.
I think if somebody was like actively trying to hear, they probably could have. But it's not something that people would have like overheard casually. I think.
Yeah. Jeremiah's a sneaky little bastard. He was definitely eavesdropping. The second that he saw the stone cold captain that he's been working under this entire time awkwardly pull someone who just showed up to the side and
Right.
very obviously freeze up. That is weird. That
yes.
is very strange.
Only time you've ever seen him act like that.
Exactly. So I am. Jeremiah was listening in, and behind Splat, Jeremiah goes, "You and the captain got history?"
Kinda. My older brother was like on the same squad as him.
Oh,
Yeah, he died.
what's he up to now?
He died. He died pretty brutally.
Oh,
It's
I'm
all right,
sorry. I'm sorry to hear that.
It's all right. It's kind of funny, actually. Like, he called me Splat. He gave me that nickname and then literally got stepped on.
Wow.
So that might be a little
That
too
is-
strong. I've had
No,
like years
that's-
to build this up. So it's like I got my repertoire of jokes.
From a dark humor aspect, I can understand the humor in that.
Yeah.
I've never seen the captain act like that in the 6 months I've been here.
Oh, dude, I've known him my whole life basically. He and my brother. By the way, since I got you here, I don't give a fuck what you did or what the police say you did. If I judged people based on what police told me they did, then my older brother would have been a terrorist. Okay? Like, the amount of shit that he got up to, I don't think he, by the time he died, was allowed to any bar within 30 miles of the Masmus Academy. So it's really nothing. I know firsthand that sometimes the police report isn't exactly what happened.
Oh, no, it is.
Ah, okay.
I killed a Masmus giant.
Well, that's still,
intentionally.
That's intentionally. That's hey man. I'm a witch. I'm gonna be a field medic. I will save your life just like anybody else.
I am glad to hear it, and it is very comforting that you do not read the daily scripts, because that would probably not be your outlook otherwise.
Yeah, newspapers are for fucking nerds, so I don't really.
Well, don't let the Terror Twins over there hear you say that.
Got it. What, are they a little bit uptight?
Traumatized. I think y'all will get along swimmingly. Just don't let that slip.
Oh, okay. Well, hey, laughter's the best medicine. I'll take a crack at anybody.
I don't know if dear old grandpa allowed them to laugh. So just tread carefully around them if you do.
Okay. Well,
seriously though, is there everything cool between you and the cab?
Yeah, we'll be all
choose to transfer here?
I did. I was given the choice, and yeah. I saw I was put up. I was one of the... They only gave the option to people who had too many duplicates in a squad, so like my squad already had a field medic, and so I was presented with the opportunity. And I was like... It was like the wild at work, you know? Mother Nature just bestowed this opportunity upon me. It's like, I mean, the whole reason I want to be a field medic is so stuff like what with Asher doesn't happen again. So,
but why Bana's squad?
He feels a lot of guilt about it.
I want to say when he says that, there's a different look in Jeremiah's eye. He likes Splat, but you can see that he doesn't trust Splat.
Got it.
And that look has a hidden threat behind it. That is a...
Got it.
Why are you here?
And you're televising that to Splat?
It's a look. It's a look. It's just the look of like the kind of cordial nature that we've been talking about. That look is not in his eye when he asks him why Bana's squad.
Got it. He rolled an incredible insight. So he goes, It's not that deep, man. Bana feels bad about my brother's death. Some people say it was his fault. It's really just, I don't know. I haven't seen him in forever. He was at the funeral, and then that was it. And I just felt like I needed some closure. So I saw the opportunity.
So you entrusted your life to the man that supposedly killed your brother?
I don't think he killed him. I just think it was a mistake. But I'm not entrusting my
Jeremiah
life.
hasn't blinked, by the way. He is staring holes through him.
I'm not entrusting my life to anyone but myself and Spud.
Well, as long as you hold up your end of the bargain and nothing else gets too out of line, it's a pleasure to have you. And he holds out his hand.
Splat goes, hell yeah. If there was one thing I am, I die by the deal. And he spits in his hand. And if you let him, he'll just give you the firmest hand.
Slams it in. I'm going to do this now.
That is a strength check of...
It's like, what is he rolling for a handshake?
That's a strength check of 21.
Christ.
Okay, so let me...
He's not going to do anything, but his hand locks. Like, nearly breaking his hand levels of lock.
Oh! Yeah!
If I find out that you're lying, and anybody dies because of it, just know I've killed Masmus before. I'm going to be here for the rest of my life. The worst thing they can do is sign me up for a few more years. Got it?
Yeah, dude. No problem. Everyone's gonna stay alive under my watch.
Okay, good. And he unlocks his hand. I'll see you at training. And he walks away.
And I think with that, we'll cut to the next day to gift activation training. It's a beautiful day. The captain has ordered you to all get walking in just a direction, sort of through the woods and through a trail. Yeah, Matt, if you want to take it from here,
I was just gonna say, you say if I want to take it from here, like, if someone asks. I don't think I think in Baina's head, whether this is accurate or not, like, this is a more effective method if you don't know it's coming.
Right.
So, and I don't, so if people have questions for him, ask away. But he's being silent, which maybe isn't like the most out of the ordinary for him.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't think that's abnormal.
He doesn't like, it's well established that his training logic is I'm gonna not tell you, and like then we're gonna analyze how you respond. So this is probably not too unconventional, but still.
I think your people are kind of used to this sort of we don't know what's going on style of training. I think at some point Lexi will definitely talk to Winnie and be like, gift activation, huh? What do you think what do you think we do for that? It's like a secret, right?
I mean, like, it's not like they're gonna push us off a building or something, so I assume it's gonna be something like that.
Baina, like, stops ahead of you and turns around and goes,
they're not gonna push us off a building?
Well, most buildings are shorter.
I elaborate now. Elaborate now.
No.
I've said I wasn't Winsome, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't believe I was supposed to say as much as I just did. And then he just very quickly, like, power walks to the front of the line.
No, get back here!
I'm chasing after him. Like full Terminator style running.
Guess we're on the move. Lexi yelled, everyone get your feet moving! Everyone's chasing after.
Answer the question!
At this point now, we're just jogging there, I guess.
You guys all are jogging now. And Baina and Vera is also riding up on a horse, and you all sort of arrive at this spot. Baina just stops. And notably, you are in like this, it's opened up into like this large patch of like grass and dirt, and it's like a field. And right in front of you is a cliff face that just goes up like 120 feet.
The moment the cliff is like in clear view and everyone has already figured out what is going on, then Baina finally stops and turns to Winnie and goes, "That's what I was referring to."
Oh, thank you. And I start heading back. I'm not doing that.
I'm not doing that.
Wait.
Fuck you.
That's not. No, I mean, I'm gonna like follow her. Like, I guess at this point we get like a little bit away from the squad. No, Winsome, trust me. I'm aware that it's scary. I've done it before, and I felt much the same as you did. But trust me, you will be fine. Are you familiar with how gifts are typically activated?
Yes, and I'm telling you, I don't have one. Case closed. Write down your paper and let's go.
I don't believe that's an option that I can allow, unfortunately. I'm going to assume that, like, if this doesn't happen, she gets in trouble. I kind of just infer that from the world.
Yeah, you gotta do your training. If you're blessed, you have to do this, so...
Yeah, I gotta stop her again and go, I'm well aware of how... Usually I wouldn't use language this informal, but it sucks. I'll say it bluntly. But even if I would like to let you skip this part of the training, Vera would not... You're familiar with her and her regulations on things. Many people do this. It is fine for them. I'm sure that's not much of a comfort, but... And then he just kind of sighs. He just goes, I'm not good at comforting people. I'm sure you're well aware of that at this point.
Yeah.
Is there anything I can do to make this better?
I know.
No.
Splat speaks up. Look, man, I assume you got the report card. I'm also blessed. I got to do this bullshit. I think what would make all of us feel a lot better is if you showed us how it
We're
was
not
done.
holding hands and jumping.
No, let's just have Bana show us how it's done.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like that one.
I think that would make all of us feel very comfortable, Captain.
All right.
Dope.
He will.
And
Before we do that, I wanted to have a moment with RG, as we're waiting at the base of this fucking cliff.
yes, RG will have to go up eventually, but while they're talking to Winnie, you can have this moment.
Yeah, this is a at the same time
Yeah.
sort of thing. I'm only pulling you into this because I feel like you would be looking regardless. But Jeremiah is locked in on the cliff, like staring at it really fucking hard and muttering to himself.
don't have to do this.
You have experience with cliffs, Jeremiah?
If you get any closer, you hear that he's muttering, "How many children? How many children have been thrown off of this?" He is very much just now realizing the true thing that the Masmus does to activate gifts from the gifted children that he has been taking. And I can't activate Frenzy because I'm not in a combat mode. But as a barbarian, he is as close to rage you can get without fighting.
If it makes you feel any better, honestly, as far as gift activation goes, this is pretty humane as a method.
If a head turn could make a sound like sliding rock, that's what you see as he turns to look at you.
What? I'm just saying. I've experienced worse. In the pursuit of awakening a gift.
You see the fire kind of die out of his eyes, and his hand comes out and touches your shoulder. And he just stares at you for a second. And he goes, "You're not lying, are you?"
Afraid not. I've been training for this kind of thing for a really long time, and if activating a gift was a one-off scare, I think I would have ended up pretty relieved.
His hand goes from the side of your shoulder to the side of your head. And he just goes, "I am so sorry for what you have gone through. Nobody should do this in the pursuit of glory."
It's not just glory. Survival.
Not even that. And he looks at the cliff again, and he as Bana returns with everybody, he asks if he can go back to base.
Is there a reason he couldn't?
I mean, really, the only people who have to be here are people who are blessed / gifted.
Yeah.
But most people like to watch.
Can I insight check? This is probably taking longer for this scene than you expected, but can I insight check him to see if I can get an idea of why he said that? So having not heard that conversation.
If you wanted to ask, he would tell you.
I'm not gonna ask. And actually, you
That's
know what?
fair.
I think no, it's Bana. I'm thinking by myself. He would just straight up ask. He'd be like, "Why is that?"
Captain, do you have all of the details for why I was arrested?
Of course.
Then you know that I did what I did to get children like that out of situations like this. I can't watch this.
No one else has the details of this stuff yet. So I think Bana, it's pretty clear at this point, at least to the audience, that Bana sort of respects what Jeremiah is doing to some extent. So he's kind of going to look at, "You can return if you want, but from your history, this might reinforce some thoughts. Consider it." And then he's going to walk away.
Jeremiah's not really going to move from that farthest position of the camp, but he is kind of just going to sit down right there to watch. But he is holding on to the fact that Bana did say he could leave if he wanted.
Yeah, and Bana wasn't really subtle about that because he knows nobody else knows. So it was pretty clear. Like, I know why, and this.
Yeah.
And in this moment, Vera goes, all of you who are not blessed can stay here at the bottom or come up to the top with us. We still have a little bit of a hike, but those who are blessed, even you, RG and Ari, you're not going to get out of this just because you happen to get a gift beforehand. If you're blessed, go up to the top. Bana, would you prefer to be at the top or the bottom?
Oh, I'll be jumping. Don't ask.
Oh, that's right. Oh, what a great spectacle of camaraderie coming from your captain, ladies and gentlemen.
Question. Is there a reason why the very clearly gifted people still have to do this despite the fact they're very clearly gifted? This seems unnecessarily cruel.
I assure you they'll be fine, as they were born blessed. It is not only tradition, but also conducting this sort of ceremony could unlock even more. Who knows?
Has that ever happened before?
Sure. Could happen to Bana today.
That's not a yes. That's not a yes. That's not a yes.
Yes, it has happened before.
People get multiple gifts because they were pushed off a cliff multiple times.
Not multiple gifts per se, but the gift that they do have can become stronger or unlock a new capability that they didn't before.
Then why don't you jump off cliffs every year?
Nothing's stopping you.
It still hurts, though.
This is stupid. I say that so loudly. I don't care if it means I get a mark on my permanent record. Who gives a shit you're pushing me off a cliff?
Bana's not marking you off. You make a good point.
Winnie, Jeremiah's gonna lean into you and go, there might be a reason that they gave us a medic the day before doing this.
I think as Winnie's making her way up to the top, she's just thinking, I better not get a gift. If looks could kill, all the people would be dead.
I think the only one who might be happy about this is Splat. Because Splat is like, I don't know, guys, because my older brother used to jump off shit like this all the time, and he ended up fine. I think we'll be all right.
Splat, you keep talking, I'm going to hit you. I'm going to hit you really hard.
And then I shut up.
I don't know if that was like something you intentionally said in character, Nathan.
No, Splat said that.
Splat said, and then I shut up.
And then I shut up.
Good. Amphis is staying at the bottom as Bana goes up. Okay, I don't know if Amphis can take a cliff drop.
And Vera is also staying at the bottom then. As everyone watches.
Just on the ground, unless anyone wants to try and pick them up. Many of you are probably already aware that the blessings the wild provides to some can be enhanced into gifts in certain circumstances. For better or for worse, and then he kind of looks back to see if Vera is within earshot, finds that she is not, and then turns back to the rest of the group. For worse, these gifts are most often activated in traumatic situations. And so the Masmus has decided that a traumatic situation would be a required aspect of your training. This was not my decision. That's the end of my speech. Yes, Winsome.
If I find out that there is a way less shitty way to activate gifts, I'm gonna lose my actual mind. Okay?
And if that happens, I will direct you to the Masmus head office. Now, when we get up there, I step up closest to the cliff. Look over.
You got a cap.
I've done this before, but it's still probably something. Bana turns around so that like people can't see him, and then under his breath, very quietly, mutters, "Hear me, Wild. If I have not done my best, let this be the end of me." And then jumps right off.
You fall like a fucking meteor off the cliff. I think there's like a moment where it's just like you're flying. This is something you don't experience that often, especially as an anchor.
Yep.
Especially as an anchor. Climbers have a lot of experience jumping off tall things. Maybe not quite this tall, but the fucking rising feeling in your gut that happens when suddenly there's no floor beneath you, and you fucking just.
As he goes, like his eyes are on Splat as he falls beneath the cliff face, and then he closes his eyes until he hits the bottom.
And you hit, hey man, that hurts.
Yep.
That hurts. That's a lot of damage, but you were born blessed. And that was simply a high impact maneuver, which blessed people don't have as much of a problem with. You feel sore, it hurts, but you
Yeah.
have no broken bones. And as the dust clears, there's no whiplash, broken bones. Splat's dog rushes up and like sniffs you and doesn't alert for any sort of issues or blood or anything like that. You just kind of are a little bit embedded into the dirt in like
He
whatever
gets
form
up,
you landed
yeah.
in.
He kind of landed on like one of his legs. Amphis comes and wraps around it like a kind of brace, and then he just kind of gets up and gives like a very haggard thumbs up. He goes, "Fine, it's fine," and then
Like-
just kind of shuffles back. We're
Lexi
back to the group.
and probably Ari and Splat from above like, woo! Way to go, Captain Beta! That was crazy. I'm, hey, looking not blessed looks pretty good right now, says Lexi. We travel up to the top of the cliff again, and Splat kind of goes, so what are you two? Are you two like jumping together or something? And should I go first or what?
I mean, like, Ari, are you like, you're not like, worried, are you?
No, we'll be all right. I'm sure. She's got like a stone cold face going on, but a little bit of a 1,000-yard stare. I wouldn't mind jumping together. Be good for the brand. Be good for the brand.
Sure. Yeah. Good for the brand.
Good for
Yeah,
the brand.
I like it.
I like that. Splat, if you're itching to
Reads
go,
well.
you can go. And Splat goes, hey, see you at the bottom, gang. And does like a fucking swan dive gainer off the fucking cliff. You guys at the bottom just see, what starts off as a tiny figure of a person. And you just hear, woo! And he collides with the ground. And as the dust clears, Spud runs up and sniffs him and he goes, am I gifted? Did I get the thing? And Matt, you know what a gift activating sort of looks like.
Yeah, I would. He's definitely not watching because Bana saw the first 2 seconds of someone who looks like Asher falling and immediately turned around.
He lands. Vera goes, no, you're not gifted, but you are blessed. Go ahead, get out of the landing zone. He goes, damn, all right.
And Bana turns back around.
He kind of climbs out of his own little personal crater and walks to the side to watch and shouts up, you guys got it! You're up!
Thanks. Really weird way to act.
It's not
sure
that
you're all right?
bad! Ari goes, I think that guy's crazy.
That's insane. That guy is actually, there's something wrong with him.
Why did he choose to be
Yeah,
a
kind
medic?
of.
He should be like a climber. Like, he has no care for his safety.
Maybe that just means he cares double for other people's safety.
We can hope. Winnie, you want to go first?
No, I don't do this.
we
I don't want to be here.
can... It's fine. We can do it, Ari. We already have our gifts, and, we're going to be fine.
Yep.
We're always fine. It just sucks for a little bit, and then it's over,
All right. You want to go backwards or forwards?
Backwards, I really don't want to see the ground coming.
Me neither. Okay. Twin telepathy. Same page.
Is it actually scarier to see the sky the cliff getting farther away or the ground?
I'm
getting
just going to
closer?
close my eyes, Winnie. I think that's the best solution.
I'll let you
in
know
that
when
quandary.
we reach the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
And
When I get down there and I am not gifted, I'm kicking Bana's ass and there's no one that can stop me.
I don't think anybody would blame you. And you guys approach super unnaturally to the edge of a cliff and turn your backs to it. And Ari is gripping your hand with when someone's hand is somehow sweaty and also cold? It's like just an iron grip. And I go, okay, you want to count us off?
3. RG clears his head. 2. RG loses feeling in his hands. 1. RG's completely emotionally and autonomically shut off.
And you fall
Jump.
back. And the world is shut out around you. You just feel the wind against your clothes, against your cape. And you don't even really feel the impact when it happens. It just happens. It's loud. And you kind of like, you know, like when people say you get knocked out, like you kind of wake up like, oh, where am I? And you don't exactly remember. It's kind of like that. Like you land, both of you, simultaneously. Huge dust cloud. Notably, for Bana, no other sense of magic from the wild coming from these gifted people.
Bana's gonna go help them get up. He reaches out, like helps pull one of them up. Amphis kind of reaches out and like wraps around one, helps pull the other one up, so he gets them at the same time. And then he kind of gets them, smiles at them. Not a huge smile because it's Bana, but at least a little bit. And then, in maybe the closest thing to a joke you've ever heard him make, goes, "Congratulations, you're gifted."
Joke acknowledged. I will not laugh.
Yep. Laughing would actually probably take more wind out of your lungs, so good choice. And then he guides them back to...
Splat's
If I ever meet Grandpa, I'm gonna fucking kick his fucking ass. Jesus Christ.
Splat tries his best to be like the hype man of this group. Like when you guys crawl out of your dust, he's like, "Yes! Oh my god, that was sick!"
Splat, could you lower your voice, please?
Oh, sorry. Hey, you guys did good, both of you.
There's no doing good. There's just getting through it. And we got through it. So, we're good now.
Whatever it takes.
And you never have to do that again.
Yeah. Sure.
Unless you're like Bana.
Vera calls up to the top. "Winnie, the landing zone is clear. Go ahead."
Oh, okay. All right. Mother Nature, the wild, whatever. I know we haven't exactly been tight for a long time, but if you could do me this solid and give me the opportunity to beat the shit out of those who have wronged me in this occasion by just making this not have to happen, or if I should be doing this, give me some sort of sign. I say this like as I'm at the edge of the cliff, that this simply needs to be done. And if there is no sign, I guess I can just leave. Wait.
And you wait.
Wait.
And you do see something. You see, weirdly, it must have got picked up by the wind, but like a bunch of flower petals kind of breeze by at the top of this cliff. And they breeze and they go over the cliff and down.
Well, I guess that means I can leave.
The earth quakes beneath your feet. No. No, not actually.
Okay. All right. Okay. I trust fall backwards.
You trust fall backwards to be caught by no one but Mother Nature herself at the bottom of the cliff. And you fall and fall and fall for way too long, longer than you ever fell before. And as you slam into the ground, giant flowers and trees and vines sprout up. Some of them 15 feet tall, and they're all they're from all over in the wild. There's some things that are growing in your landing location that are only found in Estersal or in different parts of Cazilor. And it all sprouts in an instant, an explosion of plant life. You obviously don't know this as you are gathering your bearings at the bottom, and you sort of open your eyes and just see the sky through a bunch of plants. It almost looks like you're an ant in a grassy field, because you're seeing these giant flowers. And all of a sudden, coming into your vision is Spud, Splat's dog. And Spud goes, "How you feeling, Toots?"
What?
You don't smell like you got any injuries. She's good, boss.
No. 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 Nope. I died. I died. That's what happens. And I have to go hunt and haunt Bana forever.
Bana, who is walking up and
No.
presumably thinks you're addressing this to him, just goes, "Please don't. You are in fact alive." And he looks around. "Well, I think you can draw your own conclusions."
Did you know the dog talks?
Oh, was that to the dog?
What's happening?
What do you, like the dog? Why are you not reacting to the dog?
Hold on, you
who
can
is
hear me?
having now a conversation with us.
Hey, don't ignore me.
Yes.
People don't typically speak
I'm
with
supposed to
animals.
ignore you?
Amphis rattles on his shoulder. Bana does not understand the irony. He just kind of reaches down, is like, "All right, did you land on your head, or is that connected to, I mean, plant, creature, plant, it makes... Oh.
Splat walks up like, "What do you mean Spud can talk? He's never talked to me once. Spud, what's the big idea?" And Winnie, only you hear Spud go, "I talk to you all the time, boss. What's the problem?"
This is the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
And you can
Actually,
see
the worst thing that's ever happened to me. And the worst thing.
Lexi approaches and goes, "Winnie, I don't know if you're gonna like this, but you know how gifts kind of can manifest in certain ways on your body? You might want to take a look in the lake over there at yourself."
Oh my god. Oh my god, am I green? Am I green? Am I green? Am I green? Am I green?
And you just whispering that, I imagine, as you pace over to the pond, and you look in your reflection, and you see flowers blooming out of your hair. And as they are, you're grabbing at them, and they just grow back almost immediately, and they're whispering, and they're like, "Congratulations, congratulations. Mother Nature has gifted you. You're gifted.
This isn't happening.
Congratulations."
No! Leave me alone! Please!
I imagine we do like a really wide cut, and it's like it's the Darth Vader, "No!" just echoing throughout the trees as birds fly away. And Lexi comes up behind you, and he's like, "If it doesn't look that bad. I've seen a lot worse for what it's worth. You could be like Ari and have horns."
You could have said that many different ways, Lexi.
Okay.
Many different ways.
You know what? I think I might just give you your space.
That's a good idea.
Bana's gonna come up really briefly after this, knowing full well that Winnie probably doesn't want to talk to him, and therefore just saying his piece and getting out. But he's gonna like kneel down next to her and goes, "I know you probably have many thoughts. I know from what you said on my approach that you probably don't view me too favorably right now. That's understandable. But let me say this. You expressed concern for your squad mates and for Lexi in particular. This might seem bad right now. It will make you a better protector, and I hope you can take comfort in that." And then he just, knowing she wants her space, walks away without waiting for a response.
Oh my god, it's so annoying that he's...
It's annoying. He's right, and I hate him for it.
Mentor moment achieved!
And ending this sort of scene, I think, we'll cut to Vera, who says, "Wow, so, three gifted people and one, I guess Captain Bana, you are as well. So 3 gifted people and 2 blessed on the headliner squad. I don't know what Bana cashed in to deserve such incredible fortune from the wild, but here we are nonetheless."
A criminal.
He's looking at her very smugly, doesn't say anything, but you can tell he's thinking like, "And you were mad that I cut so many people, and look at who I've got now, bitch." Like, never gonna say it, but you can see in his eyes, just like, "I was right."
I was right. And Vera kind of goes, Winnie, as well as RG and Ari, you will need to visit the local witch in order to get a proper sort of inkling on what your gifts can better do. RG, Ari, I know you have a pretty good idea already, but it'd be good for you to visit the witch regardless. Winnie, the witch will help you discern exactly what it is. Do you have any sort of inkling?
Piss me off.
All right. And we cut away from that scene. At some point in the near future, the next day or the day after, you, as well as a bunch of other people who found out they were gifted, have to visit the witch, and you sign up for a time slot and you head in. As previously stated, witches are kind of, in this world, sort of medicine inclined, or medicinally inclined, rather. Somewhere in the Masmus Academy's estate, there is like a cottage in the forest. The witch's cottage. And it's old as dirt. It looks abandoned. The door is closed. And you approach. What do you do?
I knock.
Yes, come in.
I enter.
You enter in. This place looks crazy. There are so many things in this cabin. A lot of them are like alive, for lack of a better term, like either in cage, like there's various birds, and it looks like a laboratory almost, because there's like all these pieces of different animals. You see like teeth and scales and feathers. You see jars containing mysterious things. You see all kinds of flowers and pots and plants. And as you walk in, you hear the whisperings of these flowers as they're like, new arrival. And you step in, and the witch is this old woman, maybe older than the cottage. I don't know how she's still alive. She has pure white hair, really long, kind of like yours, tied back into like a ponytail, and stereotypically the worst hunchback you've ever seen in your life. And she goes, all right, so you're gifted, huh?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And she flies through like a series of motions that you can't even fully process. Like, she walks up to you and is just like, well, I assure you, we'll get to the bottom of this. It'll be of no worry at all. Watch out. Plucks out one of your hairs. And as soon as we do get to the bottom of this, say, okay, thank you. And as soon as we do get to the bottom of this, it'll be surely, here's a vial. Could you spit into this, please? And she walks over to like a cauldron that's filling up with a mysterious liquid. And she sort of like throws some feathers in, throws some dust of what looks to be like a precious metal in. She goes, thank you for that vial. Let's go nicely. She dumps that in, and she drops your hair in. And when she does the hair specifically, the whole concoction begins to steam and broil. Very witch's cauldron-esque. And she takes her giant ladle, and she begins to stir. And she goes, so essentially, what we're going to do is we're going to make a yew soup. And so this soup is made up of little bits and pieces of yew, as well as ingredients from the wild. Then I will taste the soup, and I have developed my palate over many, many years, and we'll get a discernment onto what your gift could potentially be. You can taste it too if you would like.
I'll pass.
Suit yourself. It's quite delicious.
If I drink it, does it do anything?
No.
Then no, thank you.
Oh, all right. And she grabs a few crystals off a shelf, a purple, a green, and a blue, and plunk, 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 drops them in like ice cubes, and just keeps stirring. And as you watch, the cauldron's concoction goes from like a neutral sort of yucky, like a bone broth color, like a brownish gray, and begins to like swirl into different colors, almost like when you see gasoline on a pavement. It swirls into all these sort of random colors. And the witch goes, there we go. We're seeming to get some commotion. We're almost there. She reaches into a nearby cage, still stirring. And she pulls out like what can best be described as like a weird looking flying rat. And she goes, go on, Gerard, take a swim. And Gerard, I guess, starts to swim around in the soup. He looks like he's having fun. And then she grabs him by the
skip this scene?
She grabs him by the tail and pulls him out and goes, "Very good, Gerard. Thank you for your hard work." Keeps stirring, and eventually the cauldron sort of takes one solid color, and it's almost white, and might have a hint of a glow to it. And she scoops up a big bowl of it and goes, "Last chance."
And it doesn't do anything.
Except taste wonderful.
Do you know what? What the hell?
Ah, there
What
we
the
go.
hell?
Hands it to you. She scoops one up for herself, and she sips it. I assume you sip it together. And it's like the fucking Ratatouille scene with all the explosions of colors in your mind's eye. You see it, and it's like, whoa. And she goes, yes.
In Gerard we trust. Oh my god, this is delicious.
Quite good, right? He's our best chef. Now, getting a lot of floral notes, for sure.
I wonder how.
Now, is there anything you can tell me that I should know before to educate my guests? Any weird happenings since you've got your gift?
Well, I can talk to our squad's vine hound now. Mostly he talks to me. He does a lot of talking.
Right.
The flowers all in my hair grow back immediately, and they love to chat.
Ah, this just confirms my
It is
suspicion.
there. So many, so loud.
Getting strong. If I had to make an educated guess, I wouldn't think that your power has anything to do with manifesting anything or sort of sensing anything to any degree. I definitely gathered heavy earth tones and floral tones. And especially with that information, I think it's quite safe to assume that it's quite simple. Your gift is that you can talk to plants. I mean, we'll ride forward with that assumption, and if we are proven wrong... Sorry, getting a little bit full. I've drank a lot of these today. If we're proven wrong, then we can pivot, but I think that's my best assessment.
Ooh, and now that you have done your assessment, then now what?
So now going forward, you'll have classes on top of your regular training, and you specifically will have gifted training, which will happen in the early mornings and the nights before and after your classes, where you will be expected to sort of hone your gift, whatever that gift may be. It varies from person to person. It's a very hands-on experience.
If my gift is talking to plants, why do I have to do that?
Well, we have to make sure you're likable to plants, too.
They talk to me. Look at this. Look at it.
Well, I'm afraid I can't hear them. What is your name? And she holds one of the flowers. And you see it says, flower.
It says flower.
Well, that's quite unoriginal. But thank you, flower. It's a pleasure to meet you. I wish I could talk to you myself. And she puts it in a vase.
So, can you give me anything to make them quiet?
Quiet. Oh, are they constantly talking?
Yes.
Let me see what I have. And she disappears away into some, like, of her many shelves. And you just hear clink, clank, clink, clank, clank, clank. And, like, all these crazy sound effects coming from the back room. And she goes, this might not work, but sometimes when people get gifts, they're a little bit much. This will sort of lessen the effects, but not permanently. I think what's happening now is because your gift is so fresh, you're just having a little bit difficulty controlling when you want to talk to plants. This will sort of, hopefully, mute out the voices for a while and eke your ability back in slowly. So then you can only have it when you want it. Drink! And she hands you a shot glass that is neon green.
Hell yeah.
This tastes like poison. And she goes, that's something I whipped up myself. Learned that over decades. That should do the trick. Now, I have another appointment at 5 o'clock, so you should have to get a move on. But congratulations, dear. You are gifted. It may seem like a lot right now, but...
Everyone keeps saying that. I'm gonna go home.
All right. And we cut away. The rest of this year and the rest of the entire training, a year and a half, but for the rest of this year, your classes start. We won't go through all that. There's all kinds of classes. There's elixir making, battle tactics, enchanting, war history, horseback riding, running, gift training. RG, Ari, and Winnie all have to go through gift training to sort of better hone their skills. Although RG and Ari sort of really have a good grip on their stuff already, so it's kind of a joke for them. And Winnie's doesn't really have anything to hone. However, over that time, you do gain the ability to only hear plants talking when you want to hear them talking, which is a big step up from before. Let me calculate this right. So the year was 233 when you guys tried out for the Masmith. A month later, the Masmith started, and then it's like a school year. And then, so actually, in the middle of your second year of Masmith training, so we fast forward quite a bit to about halfway through your second year. In the year 234, this year is quite special because the year 234 is what's known as a restoration year. Now, this world is Earth-like, and it goes on a lunar calendar, okay? So there are 12 months that alternate 30 and 29-day months. Every 3 years, there is a 13th month added called Alexandrite, followed by a 3-day pause until the next year starts to sort of keep the calendar correct. This 3-day pause is called the Restoration. And the Restoration is a huge holiday in Cazilor and Estersal because they follow the same calendar, because it only happens every 3 years, and every single city throws a huge festival for the whole time. It's basically just a weekend of partying, and the spirit of the Restoration is to be your true self. It's to take risks, confess your love. These 3 days don't exist on the calendar, so you might as well live a little, right? The Restoration has begun, and you all at this point have spent a year and a half of your lives together. And I think Splat will come up to Captain Baina at a certain point on the first day of the Restoration.
For what it's worth, it's been a year and a half. I am not more chill around Splat.
And Splat will kind of go, "Hey, Cap, I had a weird request. I know we get training off for the Restoration and stuff, which is super dope. Thanks.
Of course.
But I was talking to Jeremiah, and he said that he's not allowed to leave the academy until he's graduated. And we were all kind of hoping we could head down to Colossus Keep and, celebrate if you'd be willing to allow that."
Beta's going to think about it for a moment. What's the regulation from Vera on this? Have I just been told he's not allowed to leave the grounds and that's it?
Oh, for sake of simplicity, I'll say Vera's in this room
Okay.
at the time, because fuck it.
Okay.
And Vera will hear this and go, "Well, that's very kind of you, Splat. I suppose we can allow this, but Baina and I would have to attend." And Splat goes, "Hey, as long as you're not a buzzkill, party's on, you know? Can you handle that, Highblade, Vera? Sorry, ma'am." And Vera kind of doesn't chuckle, but doesn't look mad. She goes, "I think I can handle that just fine."
I agree. In all honesty, I likely would have allowed it anyway. I don't think it's a very good idea to isolate Jeremiah from the squad in this sort of activity.
Cool. Well, the gang's all waiting outside, so it would have been really awkward if you said no.
Fair enough.
You joining us, or you busy, old man?
I'll hold out my arm. Amphis might be like on a little mount on my desk, and he slithers up around, my shoulders, and I stand up.
Sweet. And you all, starting at dusk, head to the nearest city, which is Colossus Keep, to a tavern. It's a huge fucking festival. Everyone's drinking. Anybody have any roleplay moments they want to go through while we're celebrating the Restoration? a holiday that only happens every 3 years.
I don't think RG drinks a lot, so he's probably drinking something way too strong, like some kind of mixed drink, like, well, this is what people do at a party, I have to drink one of these. I don't know how many I should. We'll start with one and see where it goes.
Winnie has brewer supplies, so she is absolutely making the drinks here, and she makes them strong. She's got a heavy hand.
And Winnie, you're sure it's not gonna be like too, like, you know, I'm not a frequent drinker, so it's like not too strong.
No, you can't even taste the alcohol. It's just like juice,
Okay, well that actually kind of seems more dangerous, drinking-wise, if it tastes like juice. Am I wrong?
No. Like, you, like, don't taste the alcohol, so, like, you are mentally like, oh yeah, I remember there's alcohol in this, and you don't drink nearly as much. Because you're just like, oh, it's not, like, as healthy for me, because, like, you can kind of taste the sugar. So, like, mentally you kind of pace yourself. That's kind of how it works. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like you should be rolling deception.
I think this is genuinely how Winnie thinks it works.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay. And RG sips his drink.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk up to the same bar, and just go, Winnie, what's the strongest thing you got back there?
Let's see. I don't know is Cazilor alcohol different from real alcohol?
Cazilorian mead, we got a lot of it. A couple different flavors. You got some that have been fermented in like fruit, like different styles of fruit. So you get more of a fruity mead.
Do we have any lunar shine?
Yes, yeah, sure. We got some lunar shine served with a little fucking, what do they call when they put it on the drink but it's worthless? The garnish.
Oh,
little garnishes of like moonflowers.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got this. I've been actually like hanging out with the witch pretty often. Like she makes a mean soup. Gerard is a scream, I'll tell you that. And they kind of gave me this. Lunar shine, crack the wax on the tongue.
I'm like, how much are you supposed to drink of that?
Until it
Nathan, did you
stops
just do that? What the fuck was that?
Little sound effect for you. Keep going.
I was genuinely impressed with that.
What the fuck?
I thought you pushed a button on a soundboard.
What the hell? Did you just have that?
I'm a DM. What do you want from me? Of course I know how to make the sound of pouring alcohol.
I can't do that.
Continue.
Like, honestly, I haven't tried it, but it seems like a good day as any. I pour us a couple glasses.
Fuck yeah.
Before anyone wants some lunar shine from the witch's hut.
Splat's like, you got fucking lunar shine? I'm gonna need that.
Yeah.
Beta's gonna walk up and just very casually be like, I'll take one.
Lunar shine. High blade Vera. Lunar shine.
Vera kind of looks at you and shrugs and signals with a hand for one.
Yeah, pop it off.
It drinks for everybody. It's gone so fast.
Yeah.
Oh lordy. I don't care how big the glass is. I drink it all in just one.
Damn, dude! Hold on, I'm picking up.
Set it down. Fuck, that's good. Give me another one.
In pain. That's good.
I like to do like a trick with it, like knock the bottle. It looks like a tornado. I do like bartending tricks.
With bar tricks happening, Bana, again, just casual as usual, he also steps behind the bar. He's like, oh, I used to do some of these back in the day. Can I see one of those? And he like stretches out his hand for a bottle. He takes a glass, takes the bottle, just without even looking, flips the bottle in the air, at which point Anthus shoots out from behind his back, wraps around it, and pours the bottle into the cup. And then he just hands it to somebody.
Whoa, yeah! Captain Beta! Where the fuck did you learn?
It's never not gonna be scary.
Who taught you that, dude?
I had some free time.
Lexi's gonna absolutely get a drink as well. He's gonna encourage RG and Ari to participate in the festivities if they aren't already. Come on, let's all get together. Let's do a group shot.
Oh, well, I already have my drink, so...
Oh, it's the restoration. These days don't exist, RG. Come on.
It doesn't count.
It doesn't count. If
They
you-
don't count, but I'd like to be like conscious. But group shot.
We'll make sure of
Group
it.
shot.
We'll make sure of it. The tavern has like a local musician that's playing all kinds of. This bar is the closest, or this tavern is the closest one to the Maz's Training Academy. So they get these guys all the time, and so they're doing all kinds of like the hoorah rah, like the Mazmas. We're gonna fucking win this war, like real feel good music that you'll want to hear.
Depending on how fucked up is RG, how fucked up RG is after the group shot, Jeremiah's gonna go over and be like, "How you holding up, kid?"
This is crazy, man. Like,
Oh, it's one of those nights.
food can make you feel so many things.
Oh, these days aren't gonna exist for you. Okay.
But I've never felt something drinking anything because I mostly like drink water. We didn't really have like any other drinks in our house, like any fun
Right.
drinks. Like
You might want some more water, actually, considering. Yeah. And Jeremiah is going to get a glass of water and hand it to him and go,
thank you.
"Yeah, no worries." He's gonna look over at Splat and be like, "Can you like cure the hangover?" Like he's gonna.
You think I don't got something for this? My brother did benders every weekend.
Hey,
Great.
here's a crazy. Do you remember this few years at the tryouts when we had that like interaction and like I thought it was a dream. What if like what if I didn't remember it because we got drunk? Would that be crazy?
That'd be a lot nicer than what actually happened. But yes, that would be crazy.
What was that part in the middle?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. You're not gonna remember this anyway.
Okay.
Ari's also drunk. I think Splat's a loud drunk for sure. He's getting up and dancing with the fucking performers. He's getting up on tables. Ari is like, some people, at least I know somebody like this, when they get drunk, they get mad competitive all of a sudden. And Ari's like, RG, arm wrestle me right now. Let's do it.
RG, I can't even say your name instead of my name. I'm all noodle armed. I can't. Okay, I'll arm wrestle you or whatever.
I think Lexi has a moment where he'll come up to Winnie, flushed in the face, drunk, music playing, and being like, "You did a hell of a job making all these drinks. I tell ya, look at
I'm really good at it.
even
I'm
High,
really good at it.
You gotta be careful. Highblade Vera might enjoy herself." And you see across the table, across the tavern, Vera is, for the first time, doesn't look just completely pissed. Just kind of looks like, this is all right. And I want to draw our attention to this fantastic artwork of this moment that you're all having at the tavern in Colossus
Oh my
Keep.
God.
You're all here. It's the restoration.
How'd you know we'd get drunk?
You're all having just a splendid time as you're a year and a half in to your training. You're about to be graduates. It's a good break. It's a good break.
It's a good break. I want to try and help RG out of here once he's done because he needs to get home.
Yeah.
When I'm gonna bring you back to like wherever your fucking cot is. I'm assuming that I have like a room that is a little bit more secure than this.
Sure.
So I bring RG back to his room. And I'm like, hey, when you wake up and you remember stuff, I just want you to know that day was worth it. And he sets a little notebook down on the bedside table. And like says, all right, sleep this off and then go see Splat in the morning because you are going to regret it, and walks out.
Thank you, Dream Jeremiah.
That's good.
As he's walking out, he goes, "No, no worries, tryout," and he walks out and closes the door.
I think Winnie's a runner, so like as soon as I get out of the park, it's like, I gotta run.
Lexi's chasing after, like,
gotta
Winnie, we don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah,
Stop.
you just gotta run. I've never been so fast in my whole life. I'm faster than Jeremiah. Look at me. I'm going.
You can't. I'm so full of booze. You can't keep doing this.
I wonder if this is like the slowest race ever.
Yeah.
Everyone looking out the window sees them just fucking jogging. Like, okay.
And correct me if I'm overstepping, but I like to think you guys run all the way out of town and eventually just like crash under a tree somewhere. Looking up at the night sky, you both pass out together. Away from everything else.
As everyone is leaving, I'm gonna go up, still like not very drunk, because Bane is not the type to get blackout drunk at all, but he's had like one or two. I'm gonna go up to the very drunk Vera. So, see, I did actually do a good job of choosing this squad, didn't I?
I suppose it turned out in your favor, didn't it, Captain Vena? I can't deny the results.
And then Bane's gonna smile, and he's gonna hold up a crystal. I have an artificer ability called Magical Tinkering, where I can imbue a tiny non-magical object with many things, one of which is a 6-second recorded message.
Okay.
And I fully recorded her actually saying that to me. I'm going to show you this later, and it's going to be quite funny. And then I put it back in my pocket.
Captain Bana, I can have you reprimanded.
Go right ahead. I'm sure you will.
When you can walk in a straight line.
Play me a dice again. We'll settle it like adults.
And then I mean, sure, I will sit down and do that at the end of the night.
We cut away from this, and we cut away from training as a whole. 2 years have passed. You guys have all graduated. Part of graduation is doing this graduation parade, where you go around to the 3 major inner cities of Cazilor, which is Terium, Opulo, and lastly Kragora. Those are your opportunities to see your family for the first time in 2 years. I'll let you all decide if they do show up, or if you want to go meet up with them, or if you stay in the procession and don't go hunting for them.
How am I being held?
I think definitely in this sort of public setting, it's a tough balance because they want you to look capable. They don't want you to look like a total monster. But they want
not, no.
but they want it to appear that things are under control. So I think you are kind of separate from maybe everyone else in this sort of procession. It's not just you, it's like everyone who graduated in this year, but you're like with Bana and Vera separately, like very obviously superior officers are right beside you.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think in Opulo for sure RG's family is going to show up.
I think just know that RG is like generally uncomfortable.
It's the first time you've seen them in 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grandpa,
Not loving the vibes and feelings of being around Gramps again.
Gramps like definitely will come up and play the whole proud shtick again. Like, you guys are both doing so great. The headliner squad, I know that was your idea, Archie. What a brilliant idea.
If I see this happening, I want it known that I'm breaking off from the group, even if I'm not legally allowed to walk over to this reunion.
That's up for Bana to decide if you get to do that.
Yeah, in a like public parade setting like that, if you start to move, you're gonna feel Amphis wrap around your arm and hold you there. He knows exactly why you're leaving, and as much as he would like to let you go, not now.
You know, Gramps, I know you didn't love when I tried it before, but I actually have kind of a story pitch. See, for reasons I can't really disclose, we kind of have a way that we might be able to know what happened to those recruits that disappeared when they caught the Giant's Bane. And that could be a really interesting scoop. You know, these people have kind of been mysteriously unaccounted for, even though they were Maximus trainees and they hadn't technically broken any laws yet. They hadn't successfully escaped.
I think that's actually quite interesting, RG. And what a stroke of luck that Giantsbane is in your squad. Talk about good writing.
You know, you're not supposed to know about that.
I can see him, RG. I know that face. I've written about it 1,000 times.
There are 2 ocean blue eyes staring bullets through Gramps.
He waves.
Your snake holds me back again, by the way.
Yep, I figured.
I think you should definitely get to the bottom of that.
I'll try. And then we can awkward respond. So how's it at home? How are things?
Oh, things are going great. We've been drumming up Captain Boehner returning for quite some time as soon as we found out. And Matt, you will see that there seems to be an extra interest in your procession in specific. And Grandpa will kind of talk to RJ and be like, we've been printing all kinds of headlines. Legendary Boehner returns to the Masmus, back on the saddle. We've been really hyping you up for a good launch on your career.
Great.
Very cool. When you guys get out there, it'll be all eyes on you. That's all I can say. People are going to be itching for updates.
Super cool. Exact circumstances I desire. Thank you, Grandpa.
No problem. And Winnie, do you think your parents would show up?
I think they would insist on coming.
Okay, good.
Because again, they haven't seen me in 2 years.
I haven't seen you in 2 years. They arrive in tears. Like your dad and your mom and any other family member you have are all here. And they all embrace you in this huge hug. And your mom's like, are you all right? Did they hurt you? Are you okay? And just like wailing.
I think about telling them about how they made me jump off a cliff, but keep that to myself. And I'm just like, it's been an experience being here.
You got
honestly.
Flowers in your hair. That's new. Is that? Oh my sweet mother. Are you gifted?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
Boy. Wow. That's incredible, yeah. Winnie. I wonder why Mother Nature chose you. I'm sure it was because you can help a lot of people. What can you do?
I can talk to plants, or now I can talk to plants. Before they would really talk to me mostly.
Wow.
But now I've kind of gotten like a handle on it, and we have a dialogue more so than them monologuing at me in perpetuity.
You see your dad just kind of sighs. You've just grown up so much already. Just 2 years. Wow.
Yeah. And this is my Lexi. This is Lexi.
Lexi walks up. Afternoon, sir. Name's Alexi DeLocke. Me and your daughter are both stalwarts in the headliner squad. And, your dad goes, Alexi DeLocke. Gives him a firm handshake. Kind of brings him in. And you very obviously overhear him go, I'm sure you'll take good care of my daughter. And Lexi goes, absolutely, sir. But I think you'll find that she often takes much greater care of me, much to my fortune. And he goes, I don't doubt it. And the mother also gives like a little, Alexi DeLocke, okay. And gives like the mom hug. Nice to meet you, yada yada. I think that's everyone's interaction in Opulo that we need.
I wanted to talk
ahead.
to Archie when he gets back to the procession.
Go ahead.
So, is that Gramps?
That would be him, yes.
Is he taking stories right now?
I don't think you should talk to my grandpa.
No, not me. No. Did you ever end up reading that notebook I left in your dorm on the 3 days?
I woke up pretty rough that morning, but I assumed that I would, but I, the player, don't know what's in the book yet.
Well, if you did read it, in it, there was a fully written out in the style of a newspaper article titled "Congratulations, You're Gifted," written in very strangely well calligraphied text that is written exactly like a news piece about the Scritori twins having to relearn if they have a gift or not, jumping backwards valiantly in front of everybody. That was what was in the book.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeremiah goes, just in case he is accepting stories, no one knows how the Masmus gives people gifts. And he stares at him for a second. He goes,
You know, I've gotten this on a few pitches, but don't take it personally. That story is a strong outside the brand of the paper. We don't really publish that kind of thing.
ah, don't worry. News gets out regardless.
What do you mean by that, Jeremiah?
Ah, don't worry about it. Today's the day for celebrating. And he goes back to the parade.
I think we cut forward to the next city, the last city in the parade. It's Kragora. It depends on how you look at it. It's separated by a sea, but it's technically the closest to Etraria. Kragora is very similar to Opulo. It's very beautiful in its own right. It has so much military activity here because of how close they are to everything. But I've described Kragora in the lore doc as everyone kind of feels bad for people who live in Kragora, but people who live in Kragora fucking love this city. And I think nobody's family is expected to be visiting here. We don't get close enough to Lexi's village for them to even catch wind that they're around.
That's so sad.
But I will say there is a moment sort of at the end of the procession. It's the last stop where we're in like the center of town. And in the center of town, there is a massive bronze statue, probably like 20 feet tall. And this statue depicts two Masmus knights, you can tell from their capes. One of them is this huge dude with enormous wings. And the other one is this woman who's kind of in a stance beside her. They're both choreographed and positioned elegantly, who notably doesn't have pupils and has sort of like crystals all over her face. And in a plaque on the bottom, it says, "The Defenders of Kragora." And I think you guys, anybody who might catch it, Jeremiah definitely would, catch Lexi at the base of this statue. Just kind of looking up at it.
Jeremiah goes over, also staring at the statue. Goes, "You from around here?"
Yeah, my village is like 30 miles south of here.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Just paying my respects, you know? The Defenders of Kragora. One of the Masmus's strongest soldiers. It's crazy.
Yeah. You know, I think these two were the ones that taught me that every single agent in there is a human being. And every single human being has a chance of not making it back, even if it means everything gets saved.
Yeah. But, you know, they protected humanity with their lives. And, I mean, I get what you're saying. I knew them. This is my...
What?
Yeah. This is my aunt and uncle.
The look on Jeremiah's face hardens immediately. And he just goes, "Oh."
Yeah. What? Cat got your
Night.
tongue?
And he walks away.
Oh, okay.
He turns around and he walks completely opposite direction. I don't know if we're in like a caravan. I don't know if we're in a parade. He fucking leaves immediately. I find the nearest wagon with an open spot and close myself in it entirely. Walks in. I don't care what the fuck the wagon is for. Opens the door, gets in, closes the fucking door, kneels down and is in the fucking fetal position with his hands over his head. World fucking shattered.
Got it. And as that's happening, I think we kind of cut away to Bana just kind of standing around being a supervisor. And Vera approaches with a scroll. And she goes, "Congratulations, Captain Bana, on your successful squad." She hands you the scroll. She goes, "It appears we've already got our first assignment."
That was fast. I take it, open it up.
And that is where we will end episode 2 of Tales from Cazilor, the Golden Era. If you made it this far, thank you for sticking with us. As always, we are about to go and record the Patreon exclusive after show after this. For just $5, you can enjoy all of that tomfoolery. Hopefully, if you're seeing this on YouTube, merch will be available at nathanapollo.com. 25% of all profits will be getting donated to PCRF. And is there anything else we need to say?
I mean, we could say playtest again if you want to
Yes.
playtest the earliest version, I guess I should say, of the giant fighting mechanics. There is a one-shot that is set up around a level 3 squad roll playtest available entirely for free.
Yeah.
Also at nathanapollo.com. Right now, I guess it's the homepage right now. If you just type that in, it's where it takes you. I don't know if that's going to change when the merch
that'll
goes
be
up,
that'll be
but
the case for sure.
Okay, so it'll be on there. The only thing we ask, as we've been saying, if you do the free playtest with people, there's also a playtest feedback form on the same page as the download, so just fill that out when you're done. I'm going to go ahead and say this. I don't know if I should necessarily say this yet, but I think it's fairly obvious. If you want to get more excited for mechanics that we have coming in the future, the book also does have, the book that we're working on, it's going to have, like, blessing and gifted mechanics as well. Since this was the episode where that gets revealed a little bit more, I think that's good to say. That is going to be part of the mechanics that we are releasing in that. That is not in the playtest yet, but like, check out the playtest early because it is a tiny look at what's going to be a much bigger system if you want more incentive to look now.
And a bunch of you have already downloaded it. I can see it's like a few dozen of you have already downloaded it, like individual people. That's fantastic. That's amazing. We're excited to get your feedback. That is all for this stream.
One more thing about that.
Go ahead.
We do have, in the final book, we do have stats for customizing your own Vinehound companion.
Yes.
That will be happening.
Yes.
Don't worry. You don't need to ask. We have tables of dog breeds and plants so you can mix and match abilities on. It's going to be a whole thing. They're designed to be party companions.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to say about that.
All right. And with that, I think the stream will come to an end. Thank you all for sticking with us. And we will see you next week for Tales from Cazilor, the Golden Era. Goodbye.
See ya.